right. That is live, pal. It is live. We were halfway to holiday season. We're actually 2 days away from Joe Bob being back on Shudder.
I was about to. Was that the holiday you were referring to?
Yeah.
I was about to say we're way more than halfway to holiday season.
We're 2 days away from his.
We're just outside it.
His Ghoultide. I think it's called Ghoultide. Last year was Joe Bob Ruins Christmas. This year they have a different gimmick. But they are still doing the. They are going to be doing the auction, which is for a good cause.
Ah, that's right.
So,
I remember this. This is like time is a flat circle.
Yeah, it's a weird.
It's happening again.
Ghoultide Get Together, a Shudder original. So I'm excited about that and what kind of gear they're going to be auctioning off for a good cause. That's what we got. Got the bag, got a shirt, got a hoodie. So I'm excited about that. I do not know. Have you ever guessed their movies, right? What they're going to show?
No, I don't think I've ever guessed it.
Either.
I've generally been wrong most of the time.
Well, I feel like now he gets way deeper cuts than he ever did before in any of his other shows. Like, I feel like he pretty much lined up with what you expected, but for as much as he's been on the air, and he probably doesn't like to do the same movie twice, he's got to get to these deep cuts.
Yeah.
So between that and video archives, you just find out so many movies that you've never seen before that it's an absolute delight when you find something that you have seen. You're like, oh, actually, I've seen that unsolicited. Does that make me cool?
It does.
It doesn't happen, though.
It does make you cool. I hope the kids out there know that.
The latest two video archives ago, the one and only was on, and I was like, finally something. That was a slam dunk. Henry Winkler is the professional wrestler, Gorgeous George.
I was going to ask you if you had seen that one.
Oh yeah, bunches of times growing up.
Oh yeah?
You know, 'cause my grandparents' generation of knowing Gorgeous George, seeing the Fonz as Gorgeous George is what we're looking at. What's up, YouTube, inner tubes, tubes, boob tubes. But yeah, it's great. Between October and December, to me, it's just as big as the summer movies. I feel like you find such great movies. Summer are for blockbusters, but you just find these really, really good gems. And you also obviously rewatch a lot of movie classics. And we're going to be getting into that today when the Geek Commander is back live on set with us. And we're going to be going through our top three. Each of us are going to be bringing three films and or TV shows to the set because holiday is required repeat viewing. I feel like that is the time to do it. I like setting the mood lights, have the trees on, set different light tones, and then just chill and watch a movie and have some spiked eggnog and enjoy yourself.
I'm all into Christmas. I was at H-E-B and I was all into the Christmas vibes. Sorry, I had to make an adjustment. We were doing a Roku ad just now.
Oh, okay.
By accident. So I had to fix that. But
well, we are doing a Rankin and Bass ad at the same time that we're doing a BarkBox ad because as you can see, you pick that up on the mic. That is Bumble from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but I stole it from my dog's BarkBox. You know, every month they send you toy gimmicks, and before the dogs chew them up, I'm like, wait a minute, do they have any cool stuffed animals? So I've stolen some Looney Tunes from them. I've stole a lot of Star Wars toys, and I was like...
Now, who is that?
This is Bumble. This is the Abominable Snowman from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Now, this is who inspired the dating app?
I don't know. Only for dates if you have hairy backs. This is Bumbles for hairy backs.
What's up, JJ?
JJ, what's up? We were just watching you. We have a little stuff for you left to do. We have a surprise that's going to be coming for our very for our Christmas special, which is going to be next week. We'll have a big announcement and or surprise. We'll see how it rolls. see how it goes. But yeah, we got behind the camera Dos Incredibles Productions back in the house, and we got JJ on there, so we're excited about that. So yeah, and we're also, this is I was just telling you how some guy in a pickup truck wanted to fight me because 'tis the season. So I thought,
do you want to tell this story? Is this something you want to share? No. Okay.
This is like anger management. It's just gonna fire me up. But if you are watching me, please find me. Here I am on the internet, and let's just have a call, and we'll just go outside and have a little talk. We can just talk. But it just got me thinking. It's like, well, this is supposed to be the happy season, but there's a lot of people that aren't happy. So what we did is we'll be going through Amazon unhappy reviews of common Christmas items. So we'll be doing that. And I know we missed it on our last, but we're not going to miss it this week. We have another edition of Snack Time, Rap Snacks. We had Snoop Dogg 2 weeks ago with his barbecue chips, and we got another surprise this week. So we got a packed show. That's the penultimate episode before our holiday spectacular. Do we have to say holiday? Can we say Christmas?
Yeah, we can say Christmas.
Because I always get mixed up between the other C word and the big game. You can't say the NFL owns. I can't say it. Can I say it? I can't say it, so they call it the big game, the championship game.
Oh, yeah, you can't say that word.
Yeah.
I had to explain that to somebody at work.
If you had a really awesome blank bowl. Yeah. We can't say that either.
Like a bowl that sort of gets his powers from our yellow sun.
Yes.
And like maybe was born on another planet that it had to escape in a rocket.
Yes.
And then was raised on a farm in Kansas bowl.
And that's exactly. So,
it's warm today. Sorry, the studio is warm today.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it's not too bad. But I do like to wear this when I'm boxing. This headband makes me hot, but if you do get hit or you throw a headbutt, it's kind of like a bell. But we also had some trailers drop today, and we were going to go over that, not necessarily around the holidays, but it is a holiday surprise. We got the Scream 6 teaser that dropped today.
Is that what they're calling it, Scream 6?
Yeah, well, you know how they kept gimmicking? Anthony, what's up, buddy? You know how they kept gimmicking the words? So like Scream, and then they put a number 3 in there, and then Scream, and they put another 4. They kept gimmicking it. Well, they found a way to gimmick it with a knife slash, and then it had the Roman numeral for 6. But you know who was front and center? Everybody's favorite, Wednesday Addams, which we can talk about that today too, because Brian's going to be coming in hot. And I don't think you caught it yet, but it has officially overtaken Dahmer, thank God. And Stranger Things. And Stranger Things.
I have not watched it yet. I do intend to watch it, but like I've mentioned this several times, Netflix has gotten real, greedy with their passwords access. But I've seen the dance 1,000 times.
Oh yeah,
my entire timeline turned into the dance for a few days, and it's a really good dance.
And it was a dance that she made up on her own. She made up on her own watching some '80s goth kids. But you know what's funny? Is there's a dance of the OG Wednesday Addams from, was that show in the 60s, 50s, 60s? And she was doing like this tap dance. And there's just something cyclical. Time is a flat circle. If you get Wednesday who can dance, it's going to be a hit. And then they had Lurch dancing after it. So my prediction for Wednesday season 2 is Lurch will join her on that dance. Yep. I got to find the GIF. Well, we're going to turn this because I think I'm not really driving home how good this dance was. And apologize, I did get a new phone. But you used to easily be able to go type Wednesday Addams dance, and you would get the original Wednesday Addams dance, which is right here. We'll get the close-up gimmick there. And then you see Lurch dancing too. So there's
Morticia joins in.
Morticia joins in too, yeah.
So you guys have seen the whole show? All right, I haven't watched it, but I do have questions.
Very, very, very easy binge. very easy binge. They did a great job. Tim Burton was the showrunner on it. He directed a few eps. He wrote a few eps. He didn't direct or write all of them, but you had the Tim Burton feel in there. And the casting was majestic with Jenna Ortega, who now, like you said, the producers of Scream 6 are now frantically and scrambling to get more Jenna Ortega scenes in there.
Oh, yeah, they're on their phone to agents. Like, we wrote some more scenes for you. Can you come and get stabbed some more?
Because she was,
either that or they're rewriting the ending where she was killed off.
Yeah. Well, that was a swerve, right? Was that a swerve?
I don't. Well, she didn't die in it.
No, she didn't. That was the swerve. Was she was the opening girl that was going to be the Drew Barrymore, and then she was fine, right? That was the swerve. That was Jenna Ortega in the opening of the last one.
Wait, what did you say? Oh yeah, she was the Drew Barrymore.
Yeah,
but she didn't die.
But she survived.
Yeah.
So now, but actually, now I want to kind of go back and watch X again too, because.
Yeah, X is in there as well.
Yeah, but because I was trying to remember how she got whacked in X, because she didn't survive. No one survived except Mia Goth, right?
She was blown away with a shotgun.
She was, right? Oh, yep, there it is. X spoilers.
She was blown away with a shotgun in X.
Yeah. So I wonder if they're regretting. Although although Ty West can totally just book her again in Maxine, because Mia Goth is played two different characters. They can totally just book her again, like a twin sister. You think Ty West is going to scramble to get her in there, or is Ty West is he his own thing and he's not even?
I don't think he could afford her at this point.
No, probably not. Probably not. But yeah, TLDR. We start off on the highway, we're on a dirt road, but we are going to be talking about Wednesday or Scream. But I guess we can continue on our Scream talk since we've already started about that. Are you? What were your thoughts on it? The first thing we noticed is they are no longer on the left coast, west coast. They're taking East Coast, New York, new rules.
Yeah,
was the tagline.
Is it? Well, I don't. It was. It's fine. It's a re-promising something that we were promised a long time ago that we did not get, which was Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh.
We were promised Jason in New York, and we got like 5 minutes of Jason in New York, right?
And the rest of it was on a
boat.
Though.
Huh?
It was a beautiful 5 minutes.
It is, but it's 90 minutes, and it's like 85 minutes just dudes on a boat having a comedy movie. But so it's promising that, and I think they can deliver this time. Now they can actually shoot New York. Who knows what the budget is? But yeah, sure. I'm not for a shoot. I didn't love the last one. I was pretty iffy on it.
Understandable.
But this one, whatever. Again, how much you want to bet? They're scripting out, choreographing a dance for Jenna Ortega to do in this movie.
A Scream dance.
And she's like, no, that's an extra $1 for me to dance. Put that in my writer. But I think it's probably going to do well. I think it could be good. It could be good.
I think the anticipation for... I told you, and there's a lot of these movies you have to go see twice, because the anticipation, it's almost like if you shake the soda can too much, you got to... That's the pop. You got to let a little bit out, and that's the first viewing for me, before you fully open it up. And I think everyone was really excited about that Scream requel and wanting a little bit more from it. So, and to be honest, I never went back and watched it again to see if it is something that I'm going to reappreciate now that happened, which was that first one, which I went opening night with the Q&A for Kevin Williamson. I mean, I was ready, but there was still just a lot of stuff in there. So I'd like to watch it again, but maybe not even bother, because now I think they're all in. Is Courtney Cox the only one returning?
I don't know that she's returning. Is she?
I thought she was the only one that was like, I read that Nev Campbell pulled out.
Right. She wanted to, well, we don't know why, but, I mean, I don't know that Courtney Cox is in it, but have you heard that?
That's why I heard she was the only one that might be returning. But I cannot confirm or deny if that is true. You think Courtney Cox bangs will ever come back?
Who?
Her bangs. Her bangs are famous for the one, was it 3? When she had those crazy bangs. Just go to Google, do yourself a favor, type in Courtney Cox bangs. And hopefully you don't get something else. We're talking about hair bangs.
I do remember the bangs in one of them, but I don't know which
Yeah.
one it was.
Yeah, there's a great gif of showing like how those bangs came about. And now yet another veteran actor. Oh, nope, she left. Courtney Cox, who played Gail Weathers in the Scream, has announced via Instagram, that she has finally wrapped filming in Scream 6. So she is in it, and she's done, and she's wrapped. Sydney's not coming back, and obviously, we already put the spoiler warning up there, so Dewey can't come back. Although he could come back as a ghost, because now they established...
These are the bangs you're talking about over here.
Oh, yeah. Yep, those are the bangs. I don't know if the bangs will ever return. I think they should. I think she should maybe. I thought, when those bangs happened, I thought they were just setting it up for her to be the killer.
Courtney Cox really just looks like an actress, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Like if you pictured like just an actress in your mind, what an actress looks like, doesn't she just look like an actress?
It would be Courtney Cox. Yeah,
right.
I can see that. I need to go back and rewatch her in He-Man because that's supposed to be rebooted soon. But yeah, she was one of the leads in that He-Man.
She's excellent in He-Man,
right? And the Bruce Springsteen video. That's the stuff that pops to mind with Courtney Cox. But yeah, TBD on Scream 6. Of course, we're gonna go. It's gonna be nothing. We're like, why wouldn't you at least give it a whirl? But I am curious. It made enough money. But it also has the vibe that it could be one of those day and dates that it's going to be released on an app at the same day, I guess, which would be the Paramount app. Because it came out on the app pretty quick after the theater release. You think they'll do the Halloween same day theaters and app?
Well, I think
Are they getting to that stage?
Well, no, I think that now, I don't think any studio wants to do that. I think now that's sort of like the sign that they don't have any faith in the movie. If they want to put it on the app now, it's just like, oh, well, this ain't going to make any money. Let's put it on the app.
So you think they kind of knew Corey Cunningham was coming and Halloween Ends? And then that's why they said, let's just do it in the app on the same time?
I think so. I think they expected a bad reaction. They didn't believe in it. They didn't bother to cut a trailer that made any sense. So.
Yeah. I just wonder, like, when do you hit that number sequel that you're like, okay, this is just going to be what we would have called 20 years ago direct to DVD, right? Like, what number is it? And if they're on number 6, they're going to go, but they got Jenna Ortega, so...
Jenna Ortega is not going straight to an app anymore.
No, exactly. That's what I mean. That changes everything. They might be nudging her up the pecking order for sure. Like, I know Billy Loomis's daughter... I don't know the actress's name. She's obviously has to be the lead.
Well, they brought her in to be the lead and to get all the attention, and she's like stunning to look at. Like she's beautiful, and it's funny because they brought her in to be the lead to get the eyes, and then her little sister's the one that blew up.
Yeah, who knew?
Yeah,
yeah. Thanks to Jenna Ortega, I think that the next Scream, at least at the minimum, will be getting one more theatrical release before they give up on it. Or unless, what the gimmick they could be.
I don't think, theatrical releases are back. The movies are back, dude. We talked about this, how crowded, next year's going to be. There's a bunch of trailers released today. Movies are back. Movies are back. And if they can make money in the theater now, it's going to the theater. But they've got their second out. It's like the new, it's not the new video store, but it's just, the new outlet. And the other thing is they don't have to wait. You don't have to wait at all. 15 days and it's on the app.
So so they just rolled the dice because you went and saw Glass Onion and they actually extended it. Like, it's not even dropping on Netflix until like next week. It was only supposed to be a week.
Every show of Glass Onion was sold out that whole week.
Yeah.
Every show. And I had trouble getting tickets. I just checked the app because I'll do this. Sometimes I'll check the app, a little while before the movie's going to start because folks start dropping out, like an hour. I think the hour is the cutoff. I found some seats. I was like, okay, I'm going to go see Glass Onion because I heard it's awesome. And it is probably Netflix's best movie ever, I think.
Wow.
And I think if they had left it in the theater, it would still be making money.
Yeah.
But they left all that money on the table. And now currently it's nowhere, and they're going to release it on the app next week.
Next week, yeah. A little bit right before Christmas, it's going to drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I missed the window. I know they extended it.
Yeah. Look, Black Adam is about to be on HBO Max. Violent Night is going to be on digital in a week or so.
You told me that you thought they were going to try to get that on digital.
Oh yeah, they're going to drop. They're definitely dropping that on Christmas Eve or something like that.
Because it still has legs.
I will happily purchase and support that movie so we can get a part 2. I will watch Violent Night and Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, this is quite the double feature.
Yeah,
right there. That would be great.
You have not gotten into the Lethal Weapon Christmas tradition yet.
No, I haven't. No, obviously I know it and I support the movement, but it's not one that I watch every year.
Look, maybe this year instead of Die Hard, pull out your VHS of Lethal Weapon and watch that instead. Watch Die Hard next year.
Yeah.
Again, but I guarantee next year you'll want to watch them both. Lethal Weapon is a great Christmas movie.
Yeah, I agree with you on giving Die Hard a break. I feel like now it's just overly accepted, if that makes any sense. Like, okay, I'm cool with giving it a breather this year. My take on Die Hard Christmas is I think they dropped the ball on not making a straight up John McClane is trapped in a shopping mall dressed as Santa Claus and he has to get a bunch of 80s terrorists out of the mall. They blew it. They completely blew it. And I realized they blew it as soon as I saw Violent Night. I was like, they blew it.
Now we have Violent Night to enjoy.
Now we have
that's okay.
Violent Night. Yeah, because that is definitely getting a sequel. I mean, the backstory, everything about it is so beautiful. So I'm excited to do that. And we're going to talk about our go-tos, but I don't know if that's going to be... we can do current ones, and let me check on Geek Commander. Oh, yep, he's actually here. All right, I know it's pretty quick to take a break, but you want to take a quick break so we can open the door for him, or we let him walk by?
Yeah, give me just a second. Let's go to BRB. We'll be right back.
We get the Geek Commander. BRB.
Got a Christmas story to tell, and you really want to tell it well. Get it, don't forget it, on Kodak Film. You feel better when you say, I got it.
Every picture tells a story. Capture the color of Christmas this year on fresh Kodak film.
I got it! I got it!
Kodak wishes you some merry, merry pictures.
Atari would like to thank you for taking us into your homes. We wish you all a happy holiday.
Hi, how are you again?
I have some last-minute gift problems.
Don't worry. Hickory Farms has over 100 gift packs. Gifts with mild cheddar cheese, smoky bar cheese. We are the super cheese market.
Yes, but
and Hickory Farms specialties like beef stick and sweet hot mustard.
Look, I'll just put myself in your hands.
Okay. Let's see. It's 14 elves.
Mm-hmm.
How many reindeer?
Well, there's Dasher and Dancer and Prancer.
Merry Christmas, Merry, Merry Christmas from your Kmart Christmas store. Save on sweaters and on hats, bowling balls and baseball bats.
Cameras, TVs, bikes and plants, goldfish, bath toys, slippers, pants.
Mirrors, dresses, perfume, socks, toasters, roasters, robes and clocks. Candy, records, films and toys at Santa Land for girls and boys. Christmas smiles light every face at Kmart's Christmas saving place.
Friday, a holiday tradition for 21 years.
I've killed it.
It's time once again for America's favorite Charlie Brown adventure. It's an Emmy Award-winning special. It's a Charlie Brown Christmas. Then he's back, the original cool guy. And this time he's gonna melt your heart. So chill out with Frosty the Snowman. Share the holiday spirit Friday on CBS.
If anybody loves trains, it's me, Johnny Cash. You know, if your boy's under 10 like mine is, he needs a big Lionel like this Black River Freight. Lionel also makes HO gauge trains for older kids, like this Burlington 181. But for smaller hands, the big Lionel is easier to handle and put on the track. This Christmas, get your boy a train that's built for the way young boys play. A big, rugged Lionel. Lionel, the big train for small hands.
back in the house. Please welcome B. Rose, Geek Commander.
Hold on
Oh,
one
no.
second.
No,
We gotta
sorry.
screw this up.
I
No, keep talking.
Oh, sorry. I was like, wait. What?
I forgot to pull up this camera.
Oh, got it. Okay.
You can pretend like everything's normal.
Yes,
I'll just
everything
stay
is
in the
normal.
shadows.
Yeah, just stay in the shadows.
These are the droids we're looking for. So we were just talking about Geek Commander's prowess on
There it is.
Harry Potter trivia. There he is. What's up, man? Welcome back.
Thank you.
Dos
Appreciate
Creative
it.
Studios. Anthony, if you not sure if you received your package yet, Geek Commander is the one that designed those stickers from you. So we actually sent those out to Miami for him. So we're trying to get them out there.
Nice.
So Geek Commander's your man. But yeah, we were talking about Harry Potter, and you were talking about that you actually pulled off winning that, and I feel like that would be a trivia that I might struggle with. Do you think it's advantageous? Did you read the books and the films, or you just did the films?
Oh yeah, I read the books at least. I read the entire series at least once a year.
Really?
It's kind of like,
Wow.
I was a little.
You read the Harry Potter books every year, all of them?
Yeah.
Wow.
At least
Incredible.
once. Usually I'll do a couple. I'll do a full reading, and then I'll do the audiobooks, because the audiobooks are fantastic to listen to. And then this year specifically, we've been in the process of getting my daughter into them. She's 11, and she does not like reading books, but she's seen how much my 15-year-old son loved it and got fully enveloped in it. And so she'd been wanting to try it, and so we got her to watch the movies. So now we're trying to push those books on her
Just
so she
a
can get all
nudge.
the extra stuff.
Yeah, I remember there were people, Harry Potter saved books. That series that really just like past that gave people a reason to go to bookstores again and having those lines around the building for book openings and stuff.
Well, I had a firsthand look because in high school I worked at a B. Dalton in Highland Mall. And, those books came out, I think the first one came out in 97. And so I was working there like 98, 99, and just remembered all these grown adults coming in to buy this kid's book. And I'm like, what is going on?
B. Dalton booksellers.
Yeah.
Remember them? God. It was right next to KB Toys.
Exactly. And so I finally was like, you know what? I can't talk crap about it if I haven't at least seen what it's about, and read the first, 2 books. And I was like, all right, these are not bad. I can see why everyone likes them. And then read the third book when it came out and was just hooked from there.
So it's the first 2 books similar to the first 2 movies, that the first 2 movies were the gateway, and then you felt that corner turn on movie 3.
Yeah, it's the same way with the books too. The first 2 books, really, the films are almost identical. I mean, there's a few things they change here and there, but they pretty much, because those books are so short, when they filmed them, they were able to get most of the stuff in there. So there's not a huge difference. But once you hit Prisoner of Azkaban, the book itself is great, and then the film is one of the best in the series.
Yeah.
And they just get progressively, I don't want to say darker, but they do get darker.
They do.
As they go on, and the movies kind of follow that too. And so that's been the interesting thing going with my daughter, is because she's following the books, but I'm just struggling because my son, we made a deal with him. If he watched the movie, he had to read the book first. And my daughter was just not having that. But it's something I wanted to go ahead and introduce her to. So we went ahead and did that. But I'm watching the movies, and she's asking lots of inventive questions. I'm like, well, if you read the book, you'll find that out. So I'm going to try and find some way of sneaking in there so she'll read
Harry
it.
Potter's really popular. Like out here at the school, I see the kids dressing up and playing Quidditch or whatever in costumes. Like they go out there with brooms and a ball. Like it's a real thing.
Yeah, the University of Texas is the national champion, where they were the national champions for
Really?
quite a few years.
Quidditch?
They have an actual Quidditch team, and they were the national champions at it.
You know what? It just works. And if you've ever been to either of the Universal parks, it's the same thing with the film. It's all about world building, creating a vibe. Like when you're in there, whether it's the John Williams music or just everything about it, you create a vibe, and then the more you're presenting these world, the more you're gonna be able to suspend that we live in Earth 616. And we're going to go, okay, we're off to Hogwarts.
Well, I think it's very similar to how a lot of people felt with Lord of the Rings, too. Because,
Same, yeah.
Lord of the Rings was... I didn't read it as a child because those weren't the kind of books that I was around as a kid. And so, I've read them multiple times since then, but it didn't strike me at that young age, so I didn't grow up with it.
Yeah.
But I understand that with Harry Potter as well too, because it's the same feeling you got when you saw the first, when you watched Fellowship of the Ring for the first time. And granted, those movies have tons of differences
Than the books.
But they're still so magical. And I remember going with some friends when those first came out to watch the opening nights and whatnot, and just seeing them in tears on some of the scenes and seeing some of the things come to life. And I'm not gonna lie, the first time I went to Disney World, I went to Universal as well too, and as soon as you walk in and just see Hogwarts Castle there, like I got a little choked up. I was just like, because I lived with the books and movies for so long, so finally being able to see that was just awesome.
I was just in Scotland. They had all kinds of Harry Potter stores and Harry Potter tours where you could go see where they film things.
Yeah,
I think where like Harry Potter got his wand. I think that was a thing. I don't know. I've never seen the films or read the books, but
no, the films are great. The films are really good. I've not read the books, but I've watched all the films. Same thing.
The folks are way into it. Yeah.
Yeah, the books are just so much. There's just an extraordinarily larger amount of detail and so many things that you don't get with the movies. That's why I've always pushed everyone. I'm like, if you haven't read the books, read the books, because it'll hook you just because there's so much lore.
Yeah,
it's very much what Tolkien did. Like she wrote so much lore, and you just can't fit that. And even with that number of movies, you can't fit all of that lore in there. But the lore of the books is just so much more rich than the movies even are. And the movies are fantastic, but you really get a lot more of the Easter eggs. You get the Easter eggs, but you get so much of that lore built into it, and learning about the history of all these things like wands and the history of the magics and stuff like that and how they work. And it's a fantastic read. So that's why I do it every year.
Oh, all right, cool. And I do feel like 'tis the season. I don't know if it's because the first two movies came out around November. I associate a lot of the Harry Potters with holiday Christmas movies.
Yeah, most people do, especially Christmas. Most people really associate and do the rewatches during Christmas.
Yeah, I think it was the last couple that when they released them during the summer, I was a little confused. It felt off. I was like, no, that's not right. You can't do that. And I got a little upset when they kind of did that with Star Wars, the first six trilogy, the first six to the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, that was your Memorial Day, that's your summer movies. But then the sequel trilogy, especially with it was all December. So like the fighting in the snow, and you had the snow scene, like it associated it. To me, I'm of the mind, besides the director swap, I think releasing Solo too quick after Last Jedi, which, was still decisive, with our Glass Onion friend, but I think the release date messed it up too. Like you only gave 6 months. People are still trying to figure out if they liked The Last Jedi, and then you release it in summer, and then all of a sudden it's like eating tuna fish, and then all of a sudden you take a bite of peanut butter and jelly. Now you kind of ruin both. And they're both good. They're both fine sandwiches separate, but when you have them mixed in your mouth, no good. So I think with Harry Potter, I was the same way. I always think of cold, warm, buzzy feelings during Harry Potter. So this will be our Iggy into our spot here. So we were talking about, we're each going to bring 3. Are you good with 3 perennial Christmas holiday movies that you watch every year?
Yeah.
We'll all 3 present that. Mario, you good with that? I know you already... I think it'd be fun if you pull a swerve and don't do one that we think you're going to do, but it's coming. So, Geek Commander, you're our guest, so we'll let you go first. You don't have to do all 3, but let's just do one right out of the gate. What's one holiday TV and or movie show that you watch every year between November 1st and December 31st?
So all 3 of the ones that I'm going to use, not only do I watch them during this time period, I usually watch them throughout the year as well too, just because that's how much I like the movies. They mean a lot more around this time because that's when they're obviously set, but I have no problem watching them in March or April too. So the first one, it's not my favorite, but it's probably like my number 2. But it's because of the nostalgia, because this was the first more adult movie, if you want to call it, that I watched as a kid. My parents let me watch it because they loved it and they wanted to share it with me. And then it just became, I never go a Christmas without watching it, is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Okay, yeah.
Hands down, one of my favorites of all time.
Which was a big jump because National Lampoon's Vacation was so well loved. I remember my aunts and uncles and come back talking how much they loved it. And then European Vacation, it took some time for people to do it. But now I feel like Christmas Vacation, it kind of goes neck and neck with the original Vacation.
I think it surpassed the original.
Wow, you think it surpassed it?
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, in popularity, for sure.
Yeah.
Wait, Christmas Vacation greater than Vacation?
I'm saying it's definitely more popular.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I definitely. I mean, I've since gone back and watched the entire series, and yeah, I'm not a huge fan of European, and Vegas was just whatever that was.
Yeah.
But I liked Vacation, but yeah, I mean, even having John Candy in that it's a great film, but just for me, Christmas Vacation will always outrank it. Not just because of the nostalgia that I have from watching it as a kid, but just it's one of the movies where every single time I laugh consistently. The jokes don't get old. And every time, a lot of times I'll find something new that I just either forgot or had never seen before. A small little line will just catch me, and it's just...
Yeah, the execution in that movie is excellent. It's I think it's the best of the series, easily.
Yeah, and it's
by a lot.
so quotable as well, too. Like, I think I mentioned you before, like when we built our house, one of the things we did is because we framed the house ourselves. So on all of the 2x4 studs in the house, we wrote movie and TV quotes on them just because no one's going to know they're there, but we would, and it was kind of fun.
That is fun.
And so like for my office, I did all Parks and Rec quotes and stuff like that, but we had so many quotes that we realized were from Christmas Vacation just because we were building the house. We were finishing the house in like October, November, so we were already kind of in that holiday mindset. And so we were writing a lot of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Christmas Vacation, stuff like that, writing the little quotes on the beams and stuff.
That movie's so popular that it created its own alternate timeline of sequels. It has its own sequels that are outside. Like it's part of the Vacation series, but itself has a sequel called Christmas Vacation 2.
What?
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. And
Did you not know this? Christmas Vacation 2?
I feel like you literally just did Doc Brown and Back to Future 2. This is where we're on the timeline. We zipped up and we moved over to Christmas Vacation 2. When did that happen?
There's an entire Christmas Vacation 2 that happens, which is all about the Randy Quaid's family.
Cousin Eddie.
Cousin Eddie's family in Christmas Vacation 2. And they go on a cruise, and one of the kids is there. One of Chevy Chase's kids, and it's actually the girl who played Audrey in the first movie.
What?
Audrey is back from the first movie.
Okay, now I might have to watch
it's
it.
like
even if
Multiverse
it's
of
bad.
Madness kind of thing.
That is Multiverse.
I think it came out in like 2004, 2005, 2006.
I don't know, but it went
2000s.
It went straight to video. It's probably awful. I can't recommend it.
It's awful.
Oh
Yeah.
wow!
It's like a train wreck though. I mean, you can watch it if you want to, but yeah. I remember when they first announced it, I was like, okay, that might be, because I love the original, so I was like, all right. I remember watching it, and I don't think I've ever even thought about it that much since. And I was just like, oof.
Yeah. Well, especially now you got me with OG Audrey because
OG
being younger,
Audrey, yeah.
she stirred up feelings. She stirred up some feelings for me, so I was like, maybe I need to watch this.
Yeah.
And of course, I think Randy Quaid's. I mean, to me, this is up there now with Die Hard, where the quotes and stuff that come from it are not Christmassy, but they are Christmassy, right? You can wear an ugly sweater that says "shitter's full," and 90% of the people are going to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just great. It's definitely up there. That's the one I watch every year.
Well, the song's in my head right now as we see. I'm not
Hip
going
hip
to sing
hooray
it.
for Christmas Vacation.
Yes, exactly. It's all in my head.
Had I even thought about it too, I literally, because they've done Funkos. So I have the Funkos of Clark and Eddie, and they've done Clark in a station wagon with a tree on it. And then Walmart just put out a 4-pack of all 4 of the Griswolds in front of it comes in like a little plastic display case with the house lit up behind it, and they're plugging in the lights.
Oh, wow.
And then I just won on an auction, one of the variant exclusives they have is Clark holding the sled with all the marks inside of it and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that movie is so crazy popular, and especially now they've licensed it so much over the last 2 years. So like, if you go into any store around Christmas, there is Christmas Vacation stuff everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah. There's no European Vacation stuff.
No, there isn't.
Christmas Vacation. No, but it really is. I think it deserves it.
Wow.
It's definitely one of the best ones. Is that were you about to announce one of yours, Jeff?
No, I was just I'm still thinking about Audrey. No, thinking about the popularity where you guys are. It's driving home that Christmas Vacation being more popular than Vacation. I had my neighbor drive by my house, and I don't go overboard with lights, but compared to like if you're next to somebody who doesn't have lights, it's gonna look like you have a lot of lights, and they're like, "Hey, Clark, nice lights." And I'm like, "Oh man," it's not that many because I think of that. So I think maybe it is more in the zeitgeist.
Well, it's so quotable too. Like my whole family and I, we will literally quote that movie year long. Like anytime someone says, "Where should I put this?" Bend over and I'll show you is always the response we do. And then we do a ton of, "Where's this at?" "I don't know, Margot." Like we do so many quotes from that film just because it's ingrained itself in our lives.
Yeah, and obviously Julie Louise-Dreyfus, right? Elaine Bennis, also now part of the MCU, was in there too. So perfect as I think, because that was before Seinfeld, right? So did it dovetail nicely?
I think it was probably
I think
before
it was
Seinfeld.
right before, yeah.
Yeah, so she played a version of that. So,
Yeah.
All right. Good pick. Good pick. You're starting off strong. Mario, I think you know the one I'm going to pick, and I'm going to tell you all about it. You think it's a CI classic. You think it's a Long Island classic, but I do want to see if our guest Geek Commander knows what it is. Are you familiar with the film March of the Wooden Soldiers?
I have heard of it. I have never seen it, though.
Okay. So I'm going to read you guys.
I don't believe this exists.
I watch this film every year. I have the DVD. It's also free on YouTube. So I'm going to read it to you right now. Its original title was Babes in Toyland.
Keanu Reeves.
Yes. Yeah, they did.
Love that movie.
Yeah.
It's so bad, but yes, 100%.
So they did a remake of it, of Babes of March of the Wooden with Keanu Reeves later on.
Yeah.
And they called it its original title,
Yeah.
which was Babes in Toyland. But this is the 1934 version.
The original one.
Yes. Is a Laurel and Hardy musical Christmas film released on November 30th, 1934. The film is also known by its alternative titles, Laurel and Hardy in Toyland, Revenge is Sweet is the 1948 European reissue title, and March of the Wooden Soldiers, based on the Victor Herbert's popular 1903 operetta Babes in Toyland, produced by Hal Roach, directed by, it is an MGM classic. It was originally printed in Sepatine, but there's two computer. Is Sepatine? Is that? I guess that's just a fancy way of calling it black and white.
Yes.
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 But yeah, obviously it's Stanny Dumb and Ollie D live in a shoe with a bunch of nursery rhymes, and I think we talked about it last week. There was a mishap. They went to order 601 feet tall soldiers, but they accidentally ordered 106 feet tall soldiers. But then there's Barnaby. He looks like Gargamel from the Smurfs.
The Smurfs.
He's the heel. He's trying to get this girl. It's probably some kind of crime of what he was trying to do, but he was trying to force himself on this girl, and D and Dumb have to kind of save the day. So I was telling Mario earlier, March of the Wooden Soldiers is to Christmas as Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein is to Halloween. So old movie, just very old, like obviously but it's only 78 minutes. You can blaze through this, and I'm curious if it's going to keep the charm, but I think it was like in the public domain, which is why WPIX probably
that makes sense.
Kept playing it over again. But this was the equivalent of what we do, and I hope I'm not blowing anyone's spot with Christmas Story being played for 24 hours straight. This movie played on WPIX all the time, so it's kind of something that I grew up with. They had boogeymen, they had people getting hit with slingshots and rocks. They had the they basically, Mario had a professional wrestling run-in when these goblins were taking over, and then they had the idea of just like, well, we screwed up that toy order for Santa.
How about that?
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Boom.
That's what you were watching.
That's what I was watching probably every time. So definitely worth going back. I do watch it every year, and I will be watching it.
Do you think is a sense of nostalgia that brings you in to watch it? Do you think?
Yeah, 100%. There's definitely a nostalgia standpoint, but then there's also just like, you guys probably get this. You ever get like when people are like, I've never seen that movie. Oh, you're old. Like you didn't see this movie. So I go out of my way to try to like and enjoy movies that were made and distributed before I was born. Just to show that you can appreciate film history throughout the years. So obviously, this is when my grandmother was a kid. So you can say, yeah, I appreciate it. Yet I do watch movies that did come out before I was born, especially now. Not only is there going to be a karaoke shortage, I am curious what the future of film is. So it's good to go back and appreciate some of the films of the past. That's it. That's my March of the Wooden Soldier spot.
I was legit, when you started talking about it, I was like, oh my God, is he going to talk about the Keanu Reeves Babe in Toyland? Because that movie specifically, I watched because I got it for free at I'm pretty sure it was McDonald's. McDonald's was doing a holiday promotion where if you bought a Happy Meal, it came with like a free VHS tape of a random movie. And that was one of the movies, and I watched it, and I was like, this is crazy, but I was poor, so you didn't really have a lot of choices, and watched it so many times, and now when I can remember a lot of it, but you can't find it anywhere.
No.
Like, I've looked for, like, there are, like, VHS and DVDs of it that are crazy expensive, but, like, I've tried going on streaming, and, like, nobody has it.
Yeah, and that was a 1986 one.
Yeah, it was Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore's the young
Drew
girl.
Barrymore was in it, too.
Yeah, and then you get Keanu Reeves, and then Pat Morita is
Morita, Richard Benjamin.
Yeah.
Aileen Brennan. I mean, this is a cast of thousands.
Yeah. And it's the only reason why I know how to spell the name. I can spell Cincinnati because of that movie.
Oh, really?
Because they sing a song to it, spelling out, and so I'll never forget how to spell Cincinnati because of that movie.
Oh, man. See, Admar, I don't know if you can pull that one up, but there's a great VHS box of Keanu Reeves' Babes in Toyland. But yeah, it was totally remade.
Oh, and he's got his like total like 1980s like feathered hair. Everything.
Yeah. Yep. So it's a good tie-in. I don't know if that but I don't remember. I think if I remember correctly, they kind of cut out the whole Laurel and Hardy side story that was kind of weaved into the original.
Here we go.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Very young Drew Barrymore and young Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Did you ever see these videos that are floating around where, I guess Keanu Reeves, when he was young, he did like little news bits for a public access station.
Yeah.
You've seen those? Mm-hmm. And he's like at a parade, and he's like, this year's parade, kind of like doing the voiceover and doing the reporting and stuff like that.
No, I haven't seen those.
I don't know what parade it was. You got to check those out. Yeah, they're out there.
I hope I'm not going to have one of those existential crises like I did when we went to Bodies, and we saw 16-year-old Pete Davidson doing that YouTube nighttime show. And I was like, I felt like I was watching Muppet Babies in real life, and it kind of freaked me out.
Yeah, that's how I felt watching The Blob the other day. Like Kevin Dillon is a Muppet baby of Matt Dillon. Yeah.
I have an overwhelming urge to try a Drew Barrymore impersonation, but I don't think I can do it. But there's the girl on SNL does it really well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she does a really well one.
I think you should try it.
I don't want to insult her. I just don't want to insult her. That's all I got. Because I'm a fan. I am a fan. Well, talking E.T., the E.T. years, the Poison Ivy years. I'm a Drew Barrymore fan. The Scream years.
It's funny too, like how much of a resurgence she's had as well too.
Yeah.
Especially since the pandemic, she went viral during the pandemic, and so watching her with her show, and she's kind of becoming the one that you watch the YouTube clips of when she brings her people on for the shows and whatnot.
Yeah. No, it's really good.
He did a report on National Teddy Bear Day. That's what it is.
I was in for a lot of craziness. Why are all the bears first name Teddy?
Keanu Reeves earlier. This is way before The Matrix. There's no kung fu in this, actually.
Yet. What year is that? 84?
Yeah. Yeah, so he was just doing he was doing news reports for like one of these stations. CBC. Canadian Broadcasting Channel? I don't know.
Yeah.
We've got problems. So listen, we'll go down, we'll talk business, and hey, everything will be okay. I love this guy.
You knew he was a star. Everybody knew he was a star probably at this point.
What, he was doing a Naked Gun bit in 84? Oh,
that
my
when Naked
God.
Gun was out?
No, I don't think that was 84. I feel like that was later.
If the bear fits.
Wear it.
When going great.
Oh, that girl's like, hey, I co-starred with Keanu Reeves once.
Yeah.
What I'm waiting for is someone to like pull this up during an interview with him and just like asking him, "Do you remember this and what was going on?"
Yeah, he's man. I'm assuming he's as great in real life as you assume he is, just because you had the sad Keanu and you hear the way he talks and you see how polite he is during pictures. And then I was just watching him. What was going on in? Was it South America last week? They had some kind of convention and the John Wick 4 trailer.
In Brazil.
Yeah, in Brazil, yeah. And they showed his reaction and like he got on his hands and knees. Like, I don't know. He just strikes me as someone who's genuine and grateful.
He is known by pretty much, everyone's celebrity basically says like he is just the nicest person in Hollywood.
Yeah.
There's not a single negative bad bone in his body.
Yeah, he's definitely you don't hear anybody having heat.
Yeah.
With
And
Keanu.
Nobody has heat with Keanu Reeves.
No.
Yeah, and a guy who's been through so much, like just tragedy and stuff like that,
yeah.
and has just remained a nice, kind person, hasn't gotten bitter or cynical or anything.
Yeah.
It's so nice to see.
It is very nice. So you got to go out of your way to support actors like that. I feel like anyway, support them. All right, Mario, you're up.
I'm up.
You're up.
Well, I already teased one of them, so I guess we'll just
hit it out of the park.
Right out of the bat. You know that I'm a big proponent of Lethal Weapon at Christmas.
Yes.
I feel that it gets. I think everybody loves Die Hard, and now it's a meme.
It's a
to
meme.
say Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And this and that, blah blah. And it is. It's an excellent Christmas movie, and it's been widely accepted as that. And I think you're right. We should maybe move on from Die Hard. Okay.
I'm not watching it this year. I'm going out on a limb.
Skip it. And Die Hard 1 and Die Hard 2 they're both Christmas movies. So you could watch those back to back, have a solid 5 hours of entertainment for the holiday. But Lethal Weapon presents a scenario that I think is a lot more Christmassy, right? You've got it's a lot more about family and like loss and loneliness at Christmas.
Yeah.
You got Martin Riggs. And, he lost his wife and he's alone at Christmas. All he has is his job as a police detective.
Yeah.
There's that whole scene where he's watching the Looney Tunes Christmas special
Yes.
and contemplating suicide,
Yeah.
It's deep. It's a hard movie. And, like, if you read the script to this movie, it was a lot harder. The original, Riggs was originally even way crazier.
Really?
It's been way toned down, as studios tend to do. But I just think this movie has a lot of heart. Riggs kind of finds that, what do you call it? That foster family that he's lacking.
He does.
Decides that maybe he doesn't. The last scene of the movie, Riggs gives Murtaugh a bullet as a Christmas gift. It's like, I don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
It's the bullet that was intended to kill himself with. I don't know that you could even make this movie now, right?
No, I don't think they would. And
Yeah.
it's funny, like now, the way you drive it home like that, it really, in a way, it does capture that It's a Wonderful Life vibe.
It's a wonderful.
But you saw what would have happened is like the contemplation before he did it, and he didn't need to see what would happen after he got to live what life was with him.
And I gotta say, one of the greatest opening title credit sequences ever. It kicks off with that super 80s font. I don't know what you would call it, but I've used it in a number of things. You recognize it when you see it's 80s cop movie font.
Cop font.
And then it's got the Superman tail behind it, and it's Bobby Helms, Jingle Bell Rock, panning across LA, skyline of LA, and just landing on a balcony where a hooker is overdosing. And that's just the beginning of the movie. I love it.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, right? And you can't, again, it's just like the 80s were a different time. You could just do different things. But I think that it's a great opening. The whole sequence was like, Murtaugh and his family and the kids talking back to him and him trying to eat the bacon and your beard made you look younger, yada, yada. It's great. And it has that hot sax that drops every time at the end of a scene.
Yeah. And he was only like 40 something and they're talking about how I'm too old for this shit. It's like he's in his 40s.
Yeah. Well, no, he turns 50 in the first one.
Oh, he turned 50. Okay.
That's part of the premise is he turns 50.
Man.
But yeah, Mel Gibson at the peak of his career, honestly, the peak of his hairstyles.
Yeah.
That
It's so
80s mullet between him and Swayze, like the mullet battle.
You're right. Yeah, those are.
I think that a lot of people probably went to their barbers around that time and said, "Give me this Mel Gibson." They had the VHS box of Lethal Weapon.
Give me the rigs.
Give me the rigs.
This was one of the movies that, even like if your parents saw it first in the theaters, and it was one of the ones that they were literally blown away by, like literally blown away. It changed action movies.
It invented a genre.
Yeah.
It invented cop buddy movies.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I guess you could say 48 Hours.
48
did it
Hours,
first.
yeah.
But I think this is the one that really drove it home for everybody. 48 Hours had Eddie Murphy and all the cursing and blah blah and all the N-word drops. But like this one is sort of more an action mainstream kind of classic. Anyways, I implore anyone out there, you're thinking of popping on Die Hard, maybe just don't this year, skip it, and pop on Lethal Weapon with your family.
Change it up.
Yeah.
It also shows the thread too, because Shane Black, the writer, loves putting Christmas into his movies.
All of them have Christmas.
And so Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, but then even Iron Man 3, that's
Iron Man 3.
You're right, yeah.
It has that Christmas thread running through it.
Long Kiss Goodnight. I think he was a ghostwriter on Die Hard, wasn't he?
Was he?
I think he was involved in a lot of that early stuff.
He probably was.
What else? He's got to have more than that. But anyway, yeah.
All right. And look, there's no heat with Die Hard. This is just like we're branching out because this is becoming a thing.
We got no heat with Die Hard. I'm just saying, I think we can expand our horizons. Try Lethal Weapon this year.
I think like the Disney, you speak about that, the Disney app is doing the Disney Plus app. We have Is Blank, a Christmas movie, and they're compiling all what falls under Christmas, and they're throwing it into one. And Iron Man 3 was first. It was front and center. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah, every place that I've worked, we end up having this conversation about whether so and so's a Christmas movie and stuff like that, and because people know that I watch movies a lot, they'll always like ask my opinion. I tell them, I'm like, in the end, I don't give a shit. If it's a Christmas movie for you, then it's a Christmas movie.
Right.
I could care less. If it's something that makes you think of Christmas and you want to watch it Christmas, then it's 100% a Christmas movie. And if not, then it's not for you.
Right.
It's perfectly fine. I like Die Hard. Everyone, that's the big argument, is whether or not. Like, who cares? It's a great fucking movie.
Yeah.
Watch it Christmas. Watch it in the summer. I don't care.
Yeah. Exactly. Agreed.
Does anybody, just a sidetrack here, does anybody ever watch Die Hard now and just like do the Leonardo DiCaprio thing every time you see the stuntman?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Every time you see the stunt, there's you can really catch a lot of the stuntman shots in there now. I don't know why that is now, but like even like there's this one scene when he kills the first terrorist that he gets the machine gun from. There's that whole scene. He chokes him and falls down the stairs, and then he just kind of like lands there with him and doesn't move, and it holds on that shot for a little bit. And then he gets up because it was the stuntman.
Dude, it could be some of the stuff happens so fast, but I mean, obviously, you being a writer, director, editor, you might catch stuff even more than other people. But you could start a website for sure if
Die Hard Stuntman.
Yeah, just capture all the scenes that do it. But I have not done that. The only one. I'm not as good as you, and I'm not as fast as you. The only ones that I knew was obviously they were stuntmen was Spaceballs. That was it.
Because they got captured.
You've captured the stunt doubles. All right, Lethal Weapon. Yeah,
all right, cool. Yeah, and JJ said 80s and 90s movies were notorious for giving their stuntmen a lot of screen time.
For real, stuntmen got a lot of screen time. I guess maybe they've gotten way better at cutting that together because they can like blend stuff now, and they can digitally put the person's face on the stuntman. So
yeah, and just do digital tricks that weren't available before. It's like, did you try to put a tea bag over it? No, yeah, we already tried that. It didn't work.
Yeah. Put a cloth over the lens. Put a pantyhose over the lens.
All right, B-Rose, next up, what do you got for your second? I'm going to throw a curveball.
All right.
Because, I don't really set myself to any kind of like genre. Like I just fucking love movies.
Yeah.
I don't care about.
That's what we're here
like
for,
that.
man. Yeah.
And so Christmas is no different. And so like one of the ones that I watch every year, and I watch it outside of Christmas as well too, but I freaking love Love Actually.
Oh yeah.
Watch it every single year without fail, mainly just because it's a good movie, and it's all about, for a lot of people, Christmas is all about love. It's about being family and stuff like that. And so, like, I love a good rom-com, and this one hits all the spots. It's funny, it's a good rom-com, and it's a holiday movie as well, too. So I absolutely love Love Actually.
And I think we were talking about this earlier, right? But we were thinking more in the sci-fi sense of creating vibe. I think this creates a vibe for a lot of people. And speaking of being in the zeitgeist, obviously the sign writing and then moving with Andy Lincoln doing the signs. That's a thing that, like, Zach Braff, he's doing a commercial right now, right from Scrubs, and they're doing
that's a meme now. That's becoming its own meme.
Yeah, the sign but that came right. That was before. Was that even before the NXS video? I don't know who did it first.
I'm not sure.
Well, I think the context is what makes this specifically meme-ish. Because what are your thoughts on this, Brian? Is that creepy? Is what he did creepy? He goes to his best friend's fiance's house and tells her he loves her in sign language.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of. I mean, it's a little creepy, and I mean, you could say it's a little endearing as well too. I think it's one of the reasons why they made Chiwetel Ejiofor such a dick in the movie is because they wanted you to kind of feel for Andrew Lincoln, and so they made him that, tell the carolers to piss off and all that kind of stuff, so that you. Like, oh, he's telling carolers to piss off. What a bad person for her to
try to make
marry.
him full on heel, so
Yeah.
it made him more of a baby face move to do that, and not like call the police.
Here's what I don't get. That and by the way, I agree. Love Actually is a great Christmas movie, and I have actually a lot to say about this, so this is going to go on for a long time. But the first thing I want to bring up is the storyline with Hugh Grant's character and his is it his secretary?
I don't know if it's a secretary. I think it's like a personal assistant, basically.
Okay, where did she end up? Because she's like gorgeous, and in the movie they make her out to be fat or something. Like
that's the running joke is that everyone considers her chubby because she's
right. So what's thoughts on that?
So have you?
I don't. Was she ever in anything else?
So she's been in a few things, but have you seen the sequel that they did?
Wait, there's a sequel
to Love Actually?
So it's a short film. They did it for Red Nose Day in the UK. And so they basically got everyone back to film like an updated, like, where are all of them? So like almost obviously Snape's gone, so we can't bring him back.
Yeah.
But for the most part, everyone came back, and you see what they've been up to, and you see that he is still there with her. And then Colin Firth's character is married to the Portuguese lady. They have kids, and then you see all these people where they're at, and Liam Neeson is there with not Freddie Highmore. What's his name? I forgot the one who played his kid because he's in Queen's Gambit as well too. Comes back, and he's a young adult and is marrying the girl from the first. It's so great. And it's only like 7 minutes long.
Really? I'm trying to see if I can.
I know. I gotta find that and watch that. That'd be great.
Yeah, it's a great little thing, and they did it for Red Nose Day for charity and whatnot. And so like everyone's back, and they have their little ones, but they do the whole thing. Andrew Lincoln comes back with his full Rick beard and does the signs again and everything like that. So they had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
I mean, how often can you get Qui-Gon Jinn and Mr. Bean in the same room and be like, this works?
Yeah.
You can watch Die Hard any season, Addams, right?
Yep. Just watch it. It is a movie.
Watch it at your leisure. I think I watched it the first time. It came out in July.
Oh, yeah, it was July. Yeah, it was the summer.
So do you have the Love Actually like DVD, Blu-ray, I assume? You get the whole disc, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, now, Mark, tell the story.
So correct me if I'm wrong, because this happened. There's an entire storyline that gets edited out of the TV version, right? There's like this whole other set of scenes where it's like there are stand-ins on a porno set.
I know that there's additional.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
There's additional footage of them. There's a whole bunch of storylines that ended up getting cut from the film.
All right, so that's what it has to be, because like there's an entire storyline where there's stand-ins in a porno set, and it's like it's the guy from the British Office, the one who plays Jim on the British Office.
Yeah, Martin Freeman.
They're stand-ins on a porno, and so like it's like a romantic sort of his co-stand-in. They're having conversation.
Is that not in the TV version?
That's the thing. In the TV version, that gets edited out always. That's not always in there because it's real graphic. They're showing like simulated sex and stuff, and they're naked the whole time. But like I remember it was like funny because my aunt was a big fan of Love Actually. She loved it, watched it on cable, whatever. And she went and buys the new Blu-ray, right? And she puts it on at Christmas, like for my grandmother to watch. It's like, oh, this movie's so good, you're gonna watch it. And like the porno stuff started coming out, and every time the porno scenes would come on, she'd start screaming. And it's like my aunt was like, I didn't know this was in there. I was like, it's never been in there before.
Well, some of those shots are clever too, because there's the one shot where they're having the conversation, and she's supposed to be, you know, they're basically just the stand-in, and so she's performing fellatio on him.
Right.
And so the camera is up on him, and then it looks down on her, and you just see her doing this as she's talking.
Right. Exactly.
And yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's all throughout the.
And this
film.
came on on Christmas Eve for my grandma, who started yelling, you know. But yeah, I knew that was a real thing. I've never seen it otherwise because I always watch it when it's on TV. I'm a big mark for cable. I just like to have cable on and let it pick what movies I watch.
And see, I've got it. I stream it all the time, and so
Yeah.
like it's always they've got like 4 or 5 different scenes where they're doing that, where he's like, especially that first awkward meeting where like she's like,
Right. It's a whole storyline, the whole movie.
yeah. Well, the one guy who's threaded through. He's like, you know, he's kind of one of the producers, and he's kind of telling him like, hey, we're gonna try this off. Can you go ahead and take the top off and you know, play with the nipples and all this kind of stuff. And he's like trying to warm up his hands so he can be nice and cordial. There's a whole great line about making that the meet cute of this couple just happens to be on the set of this porn film that they're working on throughout Christmas, the holiday season.
It was hilarious trying to watch everybody figure out how to do the remote, and everybody starts yelling at me, "Oh, you're the video guy, can you turn this off?" I was like, I don't even know I don't know what's happening. What's wrong with this? It's just simulated pornography. It's not actually pornography, Grandma.
You know what's great about that story? That sounds like a story that would be in a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
My whole family around Christmas were watching a movie that thought we were a Christmas movie. They thought it was Love Actually. It was called Lust Actually, and we started watching, and everybody couldn't find the remote. It sounds like something that would actually be in a film.
Yeah.
And that would happen to you, the filmmaker. So it's so meta. That's so meta.
Yeah, I think the thing about Love Actually too, and I do have a lot of thoughts about that. It kind of created its own genre as well.
Yeah,
this sort of like long, sort of like sprawling, multi-layer stories, right?
Where everyone's connected.
But you're just following them separately.
Yeah, and you see it. You saw it. They did a series of holiday movies. So you saw Valentine's Day. There was New Year's Day, and then there was few other ones where they did the same thing. Like everyone's interconnected. It's all these branching stories, and they all have like a thread through where so and so knows this person, and this person knows that person, and this person is dating, all that kind of stuff.
I love that it became its own version. Like not only it is the repeat holiday viewing, but it, like Die Hard, it created its own genre. Just like we need to do this with other holidays because again, I think if everyone had a velvet
What's up,
vest,
Mike?
What's up, Mike? Oh, Robert Altman, a velvet coat of just like the elite. These are the non-traditional Christmas films that became Christmas film. I think this is definitely towards the top for sure.
Well, what's funny too is that it has got such a stacked cast.
Yeah.
But even then, like, so I was just watching a YouTube video with him. So Bill Nye, this is one of the first thing that breaks him. This is what kind of puts him into the zeitgeist, is because he knows the director had seen him in something else and brought him in for this. And then literally after he does this, he gets the call for Shaun of the Dead. And between those two films, within like a year of each other, he is just launched.
Yeah.
And then right after that, you go into Pirates of the Caribbean. So Love Actually is kind of the first, and like I had first seen him in.
Wait, he's the rock star guy?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You said, I thought you were Bill Nye the Science Guy. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, no,
I don't remember any science in this movie.
Yeah, he plays Billy Mack, but I didn't watch this movie when it first came out because it just wasn't on my radar. So I'd already seen him in Shaun of the Dead first, and then going back and seeing him do this, it was just like that's kind of where these two movies, this and Shaun of the Dead, were kind of what developed my love for Bill Nye because he's such a great performer, and seeing him in this is just, you can just tell that he's having fun. And when he talked about it on this YouTube video, he just had a blast with it.
Sorry, I was trying to find that.
Bill Nye the Science Guy?
Yeah. Well, I was trying to see because I was trying to get his. I was trying to pull up his filmography real quick, and then I forgot because he was in the Dead Man Pirates of the Caribbean 2, right?
Yeah, he played Davy Jones.
Davy Jones, that was it. Yeah. But you're absolutely right. So imagine you're the producer, and this was, for anyone who remembers the video store days, like you couldn't make a movie because you needed a face for the box. And as you can see in the picture, it's like, you want a face for the box?
Here's all of them.
I give you all the faces for the box.
Bones are quiet. Yes, that is.
Yes.
This is the movie with Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon Jinn,
the Christmas Qui-Gon
Mr.
Jinn
Bean,
movie.
Davy Jones.
And going back to your point, though, too, this is the movie because...
It's got Hans Gruber from Die Hard in
Hans
it.
Gruber from Die Hard.
I'd never seen anything, but the woman, Martine McCutcheon, who plays Hugh Grant's personal assistant,
Yeah.
I fell in love with her because of this movie.
She's adorable.
She
What's the
is
deal?
Fantastic. She's got
Why
the
is
accent.
everybody giving her crap?
The accent's always going to put you up higher ranking. She's stunningly beautiful, and she's not super crazy thin. Like, I love Keira Knightley as well, too, but Keira Knightley can be a little too thin.
Yeah.
But Martine McCutcheon is just stunning. And I believe she was a supermodel, or at least, like a fashion model for a while there, too. And I think she's done a couple of other things as well, too, but I'm not 100. But, like, this is what I always know her for. But I remember watching the movie, and I was like, oh, my God, she is stunning.
What is her name again?
Martine McCutcheon.
Okay. Continue.
I mean, I could talk all day about her. But yeah, no, this movie is just, I love watching it every single year. I love Alan Rickman in it. And this is honestly, if you haven't watched, Robin Hood or watched Harry Potter, so many people know him from this specifically.
Yeah.
And he's such a bastard in the movie. But even then you're like, oh, it's Alan Rickman. You can't be that mad at him.
Right. Totally agree.
Is he a bastard, though? Can we have this debate? Let's just debate it. I don't know. Let's just get it out in the open. I feel like it's debatable. I think I don't know. What was going on with him and his wife? Were they maybe just past their heyday?
No,
Am I going to be the heel in this conversation? Come on.
I think in the end it's one of those, like, every marriage. I mean, I've been married for quite a while, and
Here's Martine McCutcheon, by the way.
Yeah.
There you go. See.
So I've been married for a while, and it's not like, after when you get married, you kind of settle into this kind of groove, and it gets nice and comfortable and whatnot. And I think he is kind of a bad guy in the movie, just because, like, if
he got his wife a CD.
Like, if they had shown her, like, nagging and constantly writing him and being difficult and being nasty to him, then even it wouldn't excuse it to begin with, but you could kind of understand his point of view. But he's got a beautiful wife and kids and everything like that. And then I think part of it was just the typical male thing. It's like, oh, a attractive younger woman is flirting with me. I've got to see where this goes, kind of thing. So I do, especially, I mean, being a husband and a dad, especially around the holidays, I kind of think he's a bastard.
Fair enough.
Why do you think he's not a heel?
I don't think he's not a heel. I just think it's debatable. Maybe he was just ready to move on in his life. Maybe it was time for a change.
He did the Owen Hart, enough is enough. It's time for a change. All right, let's pull up. I'm throwing another one, and I'm gonna throw it. And I guess we should preface it. I don't know if you guys have. Do you guys have something? We're going over repeat viewing, so it's really hard to pick anything that's like super current. Like, I'm going to just get it out there. We know we're going to be watching Violent Night for years to come.
Don't say anything, because to my shame, I have not been able to watch it yet.
Yes.
It's on my list, but we had to choose between that and then the new Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell Christmas movie. And so we watched that because of the kids and whatnot, which it's fantastic. It's a great movie.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's probably going to be in the rotation going forward.
Oh, wow.
But I had to cut it off. I didn't realize it was an actual musical.
And see, that's what I loved about it. Like,
I was like, this is a real musical, and it's 2.5 hours. I don't know if I have time for this.
The musical theater nerd in me just was like, yes. So I love that. But also, I've already heard a lot of people talking about Violent Night, and so I can already kind of tell that's going to be, because the same way with Bad Santa, I love a Christmas movie that it kind of flips on the whole Christmas spirit thing. So
yeah, and Bad Santa pulled it off at the sequel. Like, I remember just laughing out loud at the theater. But yeah, there's other ones that are a little more current that you're definitely gonna watch over and over. The Guardians of the Christmas holiday special, you're going to watch that over and over again. I mean, they did a really good job of containing everything and not having to worry about where it is in the phase and the timeline, and just like, oh, they're chasing Kevin Bacon. Yeah, we're going to watch that every year.
It's a nice little standalone.
Yeah, so we're not going to go current. So I'm going back deep again. And as you can see, it's on my head. You got to go with any Rankin Bass classic. You can even go to the complete Rankin Bass Christmas Collection, which just is basically a supercut of the best of the best. So if you want to go, and if you're just a fan of Rudolph, or if you want to go with the animated Frosty, or if you want to go Heat Miser, you Team Heat Miser, Team Snow Miser, there's a Jack Frost. I don't know if you remember that. Young Santa, he's actually in there. So if you watch this supercut, and there was a character in Frosty the Snowman named Karen, and I don't know if this was an origin story of a Karen.
Was she at the North Pole complaining about gifts being delivered late?
But here's her bio. No one loves a white, snow-filled Christmas more than Karen, the adorable little girl who gave Frosty his name. So what made Karen go wrong between when she loved Frosty to like, I need to talk to your manager? But you can, and there's actually a little drummer boy one, which, you know, we're already on the WPIX vibe of Davy and Goliath that has that kind of vibe too. But obviously, I think here's the controversial take. I think everybody, when you think Rankin Bass, you think Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is the best, and you got Bumble. But I think that the year without Santa Claus with Heat Miser and Snow Miser is up there. Again, this is like Vacation.
A close second. It's a close second.
They created an alternate timeline, and they had a sequel that had somewhat of a stop motion animation, but it was a little bit more 90s feeling, like you felt like you should have been drinking Ecto Cooler while you were watching it. But the charm of the characters came through. So but this is one like you can sit and watch it, or you can just like have it playing as part of your holiday decor. Light up the trees and just have this going, and you can turn, you can watch it, you can sing the songs, you can say, I need you to go see the mayor. So yeah, I think any Rankin Bass classics, but I'm going to just push for that supercut of the Rankin Class DVD collection. And that elf right there, right? He got a shout out in James Gunn's song. He wanted to be a dentist, and now he's sleeping with the fish. So I mean, again, it's in the zeitgeist. What was the elf's name again? It's
of course you'd ask me this.
Chad, help us out. He wanted Timmy? No, not Timmy.
No, it's not Timmy.
It's a really kind of
Timmy. No,
it's like a nerdy kind of name.
It's like Sherman or Dwight.
Yeah, it's
or
one of those kind of nerdy type names.
Adam says, if I'm Rankin Bass, I'd have to go with wide mouth, then striped, then spotted, and I guess smallmouth to round it out.
Also, one of the most delicious fish you can eat too.
Those are solid bass rankings.
We need Matty Hooks a lot here to play Name That Fish again.
He would have thoughts on this. He would have an alternate lineup.
Smurvy? Murray?
Murray the elf? Let's go with Murray.
All right, we'll let that come up. But Mario, you got
Hermie.
I knew Hermie the elf. He wanted. I mean, it's for Santa. There's something just the whole. Again, we're talking about it. I guess Christmas when you create a vibe. I mean any of those Rankin Blasts. You feel like you guys remember the Viewmasters, and like it just felt like, oh wow, this is like Viewmaster in real life. So I think you can always go back and watch those. So, all right, Mario, you're up. What you got next?
All right. Well, my next one is one that I always like to watch. I think it's my favorite version of A Christmas Carol, and that's Scrooged with Bill Murray.
Oh, okay.
I like Scrooged a lot. Do you guys watch Scrooged?
Yep.
Scrooge is on your list. I think
back to Jersey, you moron! I still yell at people.
I love the whole network TV angle. Obviously, us being TV guys, we like that whole thing. Love how it starts with the trailer with Lee Majors and their what is it, Attack on Christmas or something like that. I just think it's solid. I think that this one exists in that time and space where Bill Murray just didn't have to read scripts or know what was going on in the movie. He would just show up and say whatever he thought he should say. That's how they made Ghostbusters, Like, he said none of the lines from the script. He's just, like, ad-libbing the entire movie. This feels a lot like that, but then you've got, Richard Donner directing. You've got like really great visuals. I just think it's solid. It feels it's got a good uplifting ending. But like I think there's a lot of really hilarious parts of this movie, and they don't really even have to like small stuff that has nothing to do with the plot. Like there's one scene that I just crack up every time when he's in the homeless shelter and they think he's like Richard Burton.
Yeah.
They think he's Richard Burton. And like, whatever, you get the scene, you get the joke, what's going on. They think he's a famous actor. And then he starts doing Shakespeare, but he's not saying anything. He's like, therefore, I forswear. And he's like trying to pretend like he's doing a Richard Burton thing. That's hilarious. It's just, that's one of my favorites.
I love how, one of my favorite things is just how balls out insane Carol Kane is.
Yeah.
Yes.
She
was so good in that.
And you like, the whole time you're like, what in the hell is she doing? But it just works.
Yeah. She was great. And again, that movie has an aesthetic that it really does capture to make that feel. And props to the makeup artist, everything about that. But, that's what you think of, right? You think of her, those attack scenes that she had in there that were just so good. I think there was different phases of Bill Murray's career that are kind of always added to the legend that he is, right? You had his SNL stuff, which is a little separate. You then had his stuff that you think of like Stripes, Caddyshack, the go-to stuff. But then I think now you're getting into Scrooge.
Peak Bill Murray.
Yeah, Ghostbusters, and
then
leading into Groundhog Day, where you were starting to see that he always had that weird madness, but it was like, oh yeah, he's doing his character from SNL. But that's so far removed now. Now he's the actor, like you said. Now he's just the improv guy that's just reading that stuff. And Scrooge really did capture that portion of him. For even Quentin Tarantino doesn't like those type of story arcs, but that story arc for a holiday movie like this works.
Fanso Cannaboy just threw out Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas.
Oh,
as
yes.
his favorite thing to watch. Yeah.
Yes, and you can check that out on our page too. We did a cool spot. We never did find those the BTS shots of Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas of just like outtakes for a puppet show are very good. But yeah, that is always good, and that's on Disney Plus, right? We confirmed.
It is. It
is on there.
It's on there.
But yeah, peak Bill Murray. Good selection there. All right, B Rose, you're up. You got one more.
So my third one is going to tie into those two nicely, actually, because hands down, and I get into this every year, I will fight anyone who disagrees with me. Sorry, Mario. My favorite holiday movie of all time will always be The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh,
hands down, it's my favorite version of the Christmas Carol. Although I love Scrooge, but for me, nothing beats, and I watch it multiple times every holiday.
Michael Caine, right?
I've watched it twice so far this holiday season alone.
You've already watched it.
And I'll probably watch it again right as we get to Christmas. I absolutely love the movie. It never gets old. But I love the Muppets. I've always loved the Muppets.
I love the Muppets as well.
Yeah, so it's kind of that, it's that perfect, what I love about it is like the Muppet movies, later on they kind of started doing where it's just Muppets everywhere.
Yeah.
But I like it when they kind of do the mixture of the Muppets with the humans and whatnot. And for some reason, this one just hits it perfectly. Just the choices they made for which Muppets are cast as which characters and whatnot. And the whole movie just works perfectly.
Well, here's the secret to the Muppets. Secret to the Muppets movies is they're always better the more the humans don't acknowledge that these are Muppets. Yeah. And like if you watch the Muppet Christmas Carol, Michael Caine is like he's like doing theater, Scrooge on theater somewhere in a London stage, and he's completely serious.
You got to no-sell the Muppets.
No-sell the Muppets if you want to have a successful Muppet movie, and that's what's going on in this movie. And I think that's why it works really well. That's one I want to revisit. I haven't seen it in a long time, and I would like to. That's on Disney. Thank you, Disney.
I'm
only
super,
$6.99.
I'm super excited this year because the big thing is like I've watched it since I had the VHS and the DVD, and in the original version of it, there is and I get why they cut it because it really tonally kind of takes you out of the movie a little bit, but there is a whole sequence of a song that's in the original cut that is fantastic. And then once they did the remaster, I believe it was for the Blu-ray or for a couple of sets of the DVDs, they completely cut it out. The entire song.
I've
is
heard
just
about
gone.
this. I heard about this, yeah.
And for the first time this year, Disney Plus has gotten it and they've added it back into the film.
Oh,
and
nice.
it's such a beautiful song. It's a very sad song, but you get to see this really great shot of Michael Caine singing along, crying, and it's just got so much emotion. I'm like, how the hell did y'all cut this out? But it's so fantastic, and they finally got it back on the Disney Plus version. So I'm loving that specifically about it, because I've got the soundtrack on my phone. I play it all the time, and the song, I listen to it, and it's such a beautiful song, and it just blows my mind that they were like, yeah, this kind of just doesn't fit in the movie, so we're just going to cut it out completely, and it kind of throws off. You get that extra scene of Scrooge in his past, and this one specifically is about, the love of his life and kind of that turning point where he went from just someone who was maybe just uncaring to someone who became kind of cold.
Yeah. And you think they cut that because, again, the original Muppets started off like you could be drinking scotch, right? I mean, those original Muppet shows were shows that you watch with your family, adults and kids alike. You had adult humor in there with the kids' humor. And then it started skewing a little bit more like, are these kids' movies? Do you think they were cutting it out because they put Muppets as kids? But I don't consider, again, Muppets, especially the original trilogy of the Muppet movie, The Great Muppet Caper, Muppets Take Manhattan. I've never really considered those kids' movies because usually your parents or your aunts and uncles went with you and they were laughing at too. And you can tell Jim Henson was sneaking in jokes for the adults that he knew were watching too.
Well, he was kind of like Pixar before Pixar. He knew that you can't just play to the kids. You have to give the parents something, because then that way, as the kids grow, they'll start to appreciate the other jokes that they didn't get as young children. I know there's probably stories out there that talk about why they cut it. I think, honestly, all the music in the film is really upbeat and bright and joyful and things like that. And this is a ballad that's sung about sadness and about losing love. And so I'm guessing that maybe they just were like, well, it's tonally, it kind of just brings the film to a stop. And for 3 minutes, you kind of just watch this happening, because it's literally, it's a ballad. There's not that many camera angles. It's just kind of shot from a few different points, and they just let her sing it. And she's so good. She's got such a beautiful voice. And I think that tonally, it just kind of probably threw him off a little bit. And they were like, we don't need this, and they just took it out. But since that happened, there's been this furor from like fans of it online, put the fucking song back.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't go back and edit. George Lucas is the only one that can do that. No one else can do that. Leave the Muppets alone. But this movie, I feel like, we were talking about the original Muppet trilogy, so to speak, right? When they went to I feel like this one was one that kind of stands out because, again, there was a bunch of others that kind of got lost in the shuffle. Like you said, Muppets were everywhere.
Yeah.
But you hear of the Muppet Christmas Carol, and people speak of it the same way they speak of like the original three.
Well, I think there's a lot of love in this one, because, and people complain about it too, because this is the first movie that was made after Jim Henson passed. And
I didn't know.
So his son Brian Henson is the director, and kind of took over Kermit. So Kermit's not going to sound 100% like that. But, they've talked about it. Brian Henson wanted to make this movie specifically about, and part of it is the feelings that he had about his dad and whatnot. And so you can just see how much love is put into this movie.
Yeah.
Just throughout. Because everyone kind of knows the tale of A Christmas Carol, but they did some really nice things of kind of playing on it and switching things up and stuff like that. And having Gonzo portray Charles Dickens with Rizzo and telling the story, it's one of the greatest things about the movie. I absolutely, I used to, as a kid, when I watched movies, I'd always, because I wanted to be an actor, I would always if I was doing this, I'd want to play that character. And when watching this movie, I'm always Gonzo. Always Gonzo.
Brian, we're going to cast you in our next movie now.
Yeah.
Now that you've said it on the internet, that
you
can't take it back. You always wanted to be an actor.
I'll always be.
We're casting you in the next one.
Yes.
Hey, I've been in a whole total of 2 films for like 3 seconds. So
we're going to change that.
We are going to change that. Absolutely. All right, I got one more. This is a little bit, not really a movie. It is a little bit of a show, but it's, again, my pattern, I guess, is supercuts. Every year, I re-record the primetime special of the best of Saturday Night Live Christmas specials, and I watch it every year. And I can watch Steve Martin talk about, if I had one wish for all the children all around the globe. And man, that whole story, it never gets old to me, and it's so old. And then John Malkovich, reading the way he reads the poem, and then the current stuff. And I guess I got a little bit of a soft spot because I was watching that when my son was little. And this is the scene where Will Ferrell is singing the special, but he's on the wheel and it's just spinning, and he's singing the most wonderful time of year. And then he starts telling him it's going too fast. It's going too fast. And he just, and he just starts throwing up. Like,
I love it. It's always great on SNL when they do the fake vomit.
Yeah.
And they got the sleeve.
Yeah, you got the sleeve. And it's coming out the sleeve, everything. Like, it's great because it's the all-star lineup, right? You got Sweaty Balls.
Sweaty Balls.
Sweaty Balls comes back. You got it's Christmas time for the Jewish people in New York. You got the stop motion animation from TV Funhouse in there. That is just, I'm wondering how that's gonna age. But those were always a little bit edgy. The TV Funhouse stuff was always a little bit edgy, but you can't deny that song's not a banger. Man, you sing it. I mean, it's up there. It's
Christmas time for the Jews.
And man, it's songs that banger. So I watch it, and it's stuff that you've seen over and over again. Again, to give a shout out for the new perennial that you're going to watch of the Guardians of the Galaxy. They did, if you listen to on Spotify the mix, they have the song that they sang every year was Chris Kattan, Tracy. I almost called him Tracy Jordan from 30 Rock, and then Horatio Sands, and they kept saying, and my son calls him one of the unfunnies that like he hates.
Jimmy
Fallon, yeah. And they sang that song every year, and that's a whole nother take. We probably get my son on here and find out why he hates all late night TV show comics. hates them, especially if they show any commercial in football. He's just like, I can't tell any of them apart, and they're all not funny. That's the only... Yeah, that song is just so good.
That's one of those things, that's some crap they made up at the last minute. They were just like, we need to fill a minute.
Yeah.
Can y'all just make up a song?
That's Friday night at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And it's like, I love watching that skit because it's like Chris Kattan is just holding the keyboard.
Yeah, that's all he does,
his whole
right?
job. And Tracy Morgan is just dancing. He's the dance. He's dance portion of it. And it's really just Horatio Sands playing guitar and doing all of it.
Again, and they it's like they pick the best of the best, and it's all just rewatchable. Their Halloween one is good as well, for sure. But the Christmas one, Baby's got to have his Dillmans. I mean, it's just everything is so good. And I don't know. Again, sorry, Jack, if you're watching, but I mean, I thought Jimmy Fallon, when he did the singing through the halls, and he ran into the old white man with the gift, like that whole thing, it just captured seeing Bill Hader, and they all came out in ugly sweaters, and Kristen Wiig was part of that. It just, I don't know. Again, it creates a vibe for me, and it just works, and I watch it every year.
I mean, I do as well, and I love it when it's on TV. I'll watch it when it's live. I like to see it at the appropriate time.
Yeah.
I know I can stream anything. Again, like I said, I'm a mark for cable. I prefer to be programmed too. I don't want to have to pick things. Just tell me when to show up to watch it, and I'll do that. Yeah, it's great, man.
Yeah.
I love SNL Christmas. That does create a vibe. SNL, I feel like we're in a weird spot right now where SNL now has become, parody has been eclipsed by reality, so it's hard for it to even be relevant anymore. But classic SNL Christmas, yeah. Landshark, don't they do Landshark Christmas?
They go back because they go back to Dan Aykroyd showing the going through the safety of with Jane Curtin of all the toys. I mean, and he's just like, what? The way you think this thing? You say, I was like, it's not even that funny. But then he takes a bump and he's like, I can swallow the ball. What are you gonna do? It's dangerous. So what do you want? It's just like I got Johnny Switchblade, and we got a bag of glass here. The kids are gonna love bag of glass.
Johnny Switchblade Adventure Punk.
That's it, Johnny Switchblade Adventure Punk. I want that for Christmas. That's what I want for.
I do need that. I need Johnny Switchblade Adventure Punk.
Oh, that was great. All right, Mario, I think you're our cleanup. What do you got? The last one.
Look, I have one that I don't have an image for yet, but let me just cue it up. I watched this the other day, and actually I watched it last year too. And I don't know that this Well, no, I'm positive that this movie is completely unmakeable today, in the era we're living in. But the one that I revisited and I find it hilarious is Harold and Kumar's Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
It was a 3D gimmick. Look, I think it's the best of the trilogy.
Really?
It's a great, great film.
I think it's the best of the trilogy, and it is completely offensive. This is at the end of when, for a while it was just like gross out comedies for a long time. It's like, shooting jizz everywhere. It's a joke. And it's just like, this is just like the combination of that and then the stoner comedies and everything. And then it's got a 3D gimmick. I think you should check it out. You should watch that right after Lethal Weapon. There's your double feature. Lethal Weapon and Harold and Kumar Christmas. The 3D gimmicks are great. Danny Trejo is in it, and he ejaculates on a Christmas tree as a shoot. And then, I think it's the best of the three. I think you should seek it out. Doogie Howser is at his Doogie Howsiest, and he's basically doing a Harvey Weinstein. We'll get demonetized now just because I said it out loud. But it's like laugh out loud funny, man.
Yeah, I remember when the Neil Patrick Harris, and he came off as pretty, like he was swinging hard when that was the jam out with your. I think might have been the first time I ever heard that.
Well, I think this is the one too. If I'm remembering correctly, I believe this is the one where we see he and his real life husband, and they're basically portraying it as he's straight pretending to be gay.
I didn't know that was his shoot husband.
Yeah, I believe that was his actual husband, and that's why that's the joke is like he's like basically trying to keep up the illusion, and Neil Patrick Harris is straight, basically pretending to be gay.
I love that. I didn't know it was his shoot husband either, but
it is so funny. I don't know, like it's just from a different time where do they even do that anymore? Where they just make a movie about getting high? They don't make those movies anymore, do they?
No, I don't think
they
so.
They don't, right? It's hilarious. Super offensive. If you're easily triggered, definitely don't watch it. They come for all colors and shapes and sizes. Everybody gets made fun of.
Yeah.
But man, it just works so good. And the 3D gimmicks work good. I wish Alamo, when they do their revivals, would play this in 3D.
I would like to. Yeah, I don't remember going to see it in theaters, so I definitely didn't see it in 3D. But I definitely would have appreciated that. Yeah, so maybe that's a weird Wednesday Christmas special at Alamo.
That would be amazing. They should do that.
If you're listening,
can you just ping what's his name, Joe?
Yeah, Joe. Hey, Joe. Just tag Joe.
Yeah, can you get this for Christmas, please? I'm there. I would watch it. Play it on Christmas Eve. I got nothing else to do.
Awesome. All right. If you guys want to grab a water, do a BRB. Then we'll come right back.
Real quick though, before we do.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I'll say this too because it doesn't tie into the movies, but
honorable mentions are always okay.
This is something that's Christmassy that I love, and not enough people know about it, and they need to. If you've never listened to it yet, you have got to listen to the song "The Night Santa Went Crazy" by Weird Al Yankovic.
What?
It is an original song that he wrote.
I think I've heard that before.
It is fucking hilarious.
Really?
And it's literally just a song about how Santa finally had enough and just went through and murders everything. But there's a great line, and it's one of the best lines. It's what I love about Weird Al is when he can just turn a phrase perfectly. And there's a line that says, "The workshop is gone now. He decided to bomb it. Everywhere you'll find pieces of Cupid and Comet." And I just love the way he can tie in something humorous with something so just morbid as well too. But yeah, great Christmas song if you haven't listened to it yet.
So you're basically saying if grandma got run over by a reindeer, ate an edible.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
You know what's a great Christmas song? Feliz Navidad by Jose Feliciano.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's actually, we did a Christmas karaoke last year at the house, and I was like, I'll try that one, and it actually worked really well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one is really good. You got? I'm going to throw this one at Mario or Brian. You might not know this too. This could be. This is connect? What about anyone familiar with Dominic the Donkey?
Oh,
yeah, the Christmas Donkey. Okay. Yeah, sure.
I had never heard of it until I met my wife. And I was talking to my wife about I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas, because that's a
Yeah,
song that my
that one.
mother loved. And I told her, and she goes, well, what about Dominic the Donkey? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then she played it for me. I'm like, is this a real thing? And she was so just overjoyed that I'd never heard it, and just watching my reaction, because I'm like, what the fuck is this song?
It was years before. Like, I was living in Connecticut, and it was like living a little bit outside of New Haven, and they have like a really big Italian pocket where you have some of the best pizza in there. So obviously there's a big Italian immigrant, and I just assumed that they made the song for that region. I was like, oh, this is a regional song, because like for your mamas and gubabas, and I was like, oh yeah, this if you're gonna eat a pizza. So I was like, I didn't know if it crossed borders outside of those pockets. So
You know what did cross borders?
What's that?
Dogs barking jingle bells. That's a Christmas classic. I put that on anytime. Every time I'm at like my mom's house, like, put on some Christmas music, and I just put that on first.
Well, just going back to Die Hard though, too. I mean, and one of the ultimate Christmas gems is Christmas in Hollis.
Christmas in Hollis.
Yeah. Yes, very good.
Oh, it always bought. Okay, look, this is just we're way off the beaten path here. But there's a Christmas movie called "'Twas the Night."
Yeah, mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's got Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Falcon and Seth Rogen. And they're like they're best friends, and they're having Christmas or whatever.
Oh, that's right.
And they
yes.
do karaoke, and they do Christmas in Hollis, and it's like their thing, and they get a huge pop, and they do it, and they're awful.
Yeah,
they're awful at that song. It's just like, who is even? You're not even close to doing it right.
Christmas Time in Hollis, Queens.
All right,
I do remember that movie.
We should continue on the Christmas path. I know we've got other stuff planned, but this.
Yeah, no, we're just grab a water, and then we got a nice Christmas pitch that you did not see yet, but you threw it my way, and I'm like, okay, let me watch a little bit of it, and it just pulled me in the entire time. So if you want to find out what that is, you'll have to join us after these messages.
Oh, enough already. Here it is, barely October, and the stores are already set up for Christmas. Wouldn't you say it's just a bit too soon?
It's hard to get in the spirit this early.
I would agree. I mean, we haven't even hit Halloween yet.
I don't mind it. Christmas is my favorite.
I don't like to see them quite so early.
Well, at first we try to explain it to them, then after a while we just agree with them.
What this merchandiser tries to explain is that there are some good reasons to set up Christmas displays this early. First of all, his department has been pricing thousands of ornaments and setting up the display since July. So to him, October really isn't early at all.
It also is a very important part of our business, so we do have it out so people can be aware of it first. People don't generally buy it the first time they look at it. Like any product, they need a little bit, I guess you could call it soaking time. They have to see it first and then decide to buy it later.
An area marketing expert adds there's even more to it than that. Christmas merchandise starts coming in May. Then it sits in a storeroom, taking up space. At the end of summer, when products like lawn chairs and grills are put away, there's finally room on the selling floor.
You could gamble on buying a bunch of more winter jackets and filling out that space and hoping it sells. Or you can take the Christmas stuff that you know is going to sell, and it's already there, and it's already sitting there and putting it out.
Well, then what about the other holidays still to go before Christmas?
Halloween and Thanksgiving don't generate that much as a season, and so you've got to fill that space.
So it's been decided. Christmas is here, and maybe the reasons are profit-oriented. But then, it's awfully pretty profit to look at. Kathy Beeson, News Center 13, Eau Claire.
Mics are hot, by the way. We're coming back.
Are hot.
It's snack time.
It's not the only thing hot.
That's right. All right, snack time. Good. And I know I gave a little bit of a teaser. I don't want you to do the...
You gotta remind folks it's the holidays, by the way.
Yes, it is. So this is a good time to remind you to like, subscribe, and share. I know we're probably way far in for the algorithm to appreciate it, but it might sniff for it. So don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends.
Share with your closest friends. Share with your parents.
Share with
mom,
your enemies.
Your brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
your enemies would love us.
Enemies would love us. So But I didn't want to Eric Bischoff you guys and all of a sudden say, I'm going to tell you what we're going to talk about and not talk about it right now. But we are going to talk about while we eat some snacks, because it is snack time. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we had Rap Snacks. We introduced Rap Snacks, and we had Snoop Dogg's barbecue chips.
Cheddar barbecue.
Cheddar barbecue. So we do have another edition that we want to bring. So this version is, the goal is to be rich forever. Rap Snacks, Rick Ross, sweet chili, lemon, pepper. Get a shot of that. Bing, bang, boom. On the side there. I just remember
sweet chili. Is sweet chili as in like, Asian chili stuff?
That's what I'm wondering. I don't know. I think we need to dig in. So let's pop these guys open. But Rap Snacks. I love that all the rappers come from a time that it was all about coming hard and street, and now they're there's wine, there's chips, there's snack. They're diversifying their portfolio.
You got to diversify your bonds.
So it smells delicious. So you guys, dig in.
All right,
cheers.
take the plunge.
Try
Rap Snacks. Rick Ross
chili.
Rap Snacks.
There's the sweet right out of the gate.
Yeah.
There's the chili. There's the lemon. Where's the pepper?
There's a lot of flavors going on in this.
Pepper's at the end. Good. Chili, good. Lemon, good. Pepper, good. What do you think? What do you guys think?
I do like these better than the Snoop Dogg cheddar barbecue.
I don't remember much cheddar in the cheddar barbecue. I just remember a lot of barbecue. But these, you're getting all three things advertised. Sweet chili, lemon, pepper. The pepper comes at the end. Lemon kind of just lingers there the whole way. Where could probably can get these on Amazon, right?
You can get them in stores. I'm pretty sure.
You get them at your local retailer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wherever fine products are sold. What kind of a sandwich would these accompany, I think? Because I don't know about you. I definitely got to have chips with a sandwich. Got to have sandwich with chips.
Yeah.
You? Can you eat a sandwich without chips?
No, that's madness.
It's ridiculous, right?
Yeah,
Didn't you tell me you used to make sandwiches of chips?
Yeah, of chips. You'd actually put and it's got to be that white bread that kind of sogs, and then you get that crunch on there. Especially if it's like salt and vinegar chips for a sandwich. That's the same thing as Jersey Mike's oil and vinegar on there. The best Rap Snacks are Master P's barbecue with my honey cheese puffs. That may or may not be what we have last week.
Yeah.
Next week.
We got our Rap Snacks delivery. I'm not sure what was in there.
Yeah, it was a big box. So maybe we should hit them up. They're distributed by Rack Snaps Inc. In Miami. Anthony, if you want to, I can give you the address. I don't know if I know you're in the area.
Whoa, JJ, sandwich and fries.
Yeah, it's a whole nother level.
What? That never even occurred to me that was a thing.
Wait, putting fries on the sandwich?
Just having fries with a sandwich.
Oh, sandwich and fries. Oh, it's the sidecar. Okay. Really? Maybe if it's a club and you get some bacon. But no, if it's on Subway bread, hoagie bread, hero bread, whatever you want to call it, I think chips is the way you got to go.
Adam says, be sure to try the Master P creamy chicken gumbo ramen noodles.
What?
I got to get those.
Master P's creamy chicken gumbo makes you say, ah! All right. We got to find these. But yeah, hats off. Good job. Rick Ross, keeping it real. Rap Snacks for a win. So we'll be doing our final edition next week.
Real quick, I need to continue on the Christmas music thing because I think this is really important.
Yeah.
This is one of the Christmas shows. We should talk about it.
Yeah.
I need to reiterate how much of a banger that Mariah Carey song is.
Oh yeah.
Look, people make fun of it, and it's a meme and whatever. Someone was talking about it at I don't know where. I think maybe at work or something. They're like, "Oh, Mariah Carey tried to copyright Queen of Christmas, and they didn't let her." Whatever. That song, "All I Want for Christmas," is a banger.
Yep.
It is a huge banger. This is like Party in the USA kind of level structure where it just every bit of it rocks.
Yeah. Well, it's standing the test of time, and I don't think it's going anywhere.
And makes a nice cameo in Love Actually.
Yeah,
that's right. Well, I mean, I love that. Again, that was one of my favorite things that she's done in a long time. Brian, I don't know if you were here when we talked about it. In Halloween, she leaned into it. So she dropped a video clip, and it was like 10 to midnight on Halloween. So it was about to turn November 1st.
Oh, yeah.
It started with her as a witch, and then it converted, and it's like, it's time! And I was like, oh, yeah. She just trolled the world. You know, for people who love that song, it was great. For people who didn't love that song, we all got to entertain that. You were like, no!
I have zero heat with that song. Sorry, it's just a banger. It gets you hyped for Christmas. It's perfect.
And I really think the people that hate it hate that people love it. I think that's really what it is.
Maybe they hate the idea of it.
No.
But I think that would be a Christmas movie in itself where a person like Scrooge learns to love that song. He's visited by ghosts.
You just came up with a modern day Christmas carol of like, you're going to love Mariah. Here's a question while we're on that topic. Has she been in any Christmas movies? Mariah Carey?
I honestly don't. The only movie that I can really remember her being in is You Don't Mess with the Zohan.
She was in that?
Yeah, she makes a quick little cameo in that. And I think that's really the only thing I can remember her being in. Other than, like she was in Glitter because that was her movie.
Well, she did that Glitter movie that came out on 9/11, so it was like it didn't pan out. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm trying to pull up her filmography.
Momentary dogma. Give it another chance. Just refresh your cat, clear your cache, and start over.
Start fresh. All right, let's see what film. Oh wait, there's an animated 2017. All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Yeah,
that was her. That was hers.
Is that like a Rankin Bass thing?
No, CGI.
I think it was more like it was like a wannabe. It's like the videos that Chick-fil-A puts out, where it's like the really bad CG, but it's it's cartoony and whatnot.
She was in Precious. Wow.
She wasn't. I don't remember her in Precious.
Oh yeah, she plays the I think is it the therapist?
Guidance counselor. Yeah.
Or, yeah, the counselor. Yeah.
Yep. She plays the counselor.
Oh, okay.
I totally forgot about that too, man.
I feel like she's been in several parody movies playing herself.
Oh,
she's
she
got to be in
directed
some of the
A Christmas
stuff.
Melody was directed by Mariah Carey, with Lacey Chambay, Brendan Elliott, Kathy Najimy. So maybe we get that Bruce Willis Christmas movie after all, and he's got to save Mariah Carey. Could he pull it off?
Yeah.
I know he retired. Man, again, still a bummer. But I like your idea. Maybe we just go with trying to teach people to love her music again, because it does represent the season for sure. Is there any other go-to songs that you guys like? I didn't even think about that, but we're going down a...
Well, you said Christmas in Hollis, which is definitely one. I've got, my go-to album, and I just bought it on vinyl. I've been like 3 years in a row. I was just like, I'm going to buy this on vinyl, and then season passed. I didn't. This year on before, like around Thanksgiving time, I ordered it. Booker T and the MG's Christmas album.
What year is that?
I don't know what year it is. 60s.
60s, okay.
Something like that. Booker T and the MGs, they do all these instrumental versions of Christmas classics. That's awesome. It's very lo-fi, very chill, very funky.
I'm down with that. All right, so let's so if we had a battle, top Christmas songs, and you had a kind of an elimination, would you put Mariah Carey over Darlene Love? Christmas Baby, Please Come Home, which has been in a lot of movies.
I don't know how I could even decide that.
I think I could do it.
You could do it?
I could do it.
Mariah over Darlene Love's Christmas? Oh man.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
I mean, they're both fantastic songs. I don't know. Maybe I have to think about that actually.
Yeah, right. That's hard to decide.
Because think about it, it's you haven't listened to hers in a while, but yeah, when it comes on, you can hear it in your head, and you're like, oh, man, that's such a great song.
Oh yeah. Wait, was that the one that was in Goodfellas too? Right? Is Goodfellas a Christmas movie?
And Gremlins.
And Gremlins.
It's the opening song in Gremlins.
Oh yeah, it is the opening one. Man, they made so much money.
Donny Hathaway's This Christmas. Yeah, I love that because it's the opening song from Friday After Next, which I think is another. I need to add that to my list of Christmas movies. That would be my alternate. Friday After Next.
Really? Friday After Next takes place at Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't you remember they getting robbed by the hood Santa Claus? He's stealing all their gifts. And Craig and his cousin, they have to get jobs at the mall as security guards to pay rent.
That's
great.
That's a very frustrating story. I don't know if you got any of the backstory on that with the rights to Friday versus Ice Cube.
Oh, yeah.
That sucks. Because they really... There was a rumor that there was a great script floating around called Last Friday, and they were going to bring him back. They were going to bring him all. Obviously, they can't. John Witherspoon or Tiny Lister, R.I.P. to both of them. But like, it's not just like. I mean, this isn't the Beatles not owning their music, but it is a film version of that. Like, come on, really? But so Stallone is supposedly going through that with Rocky too,
yeah,
right?
with Creed and whatnot.
Yeah. But back on here, so we got Paul McCartney versus Wham in a Christmas showdown. Who do you got?
I take Wham. As blasphemous as that may sound. I'll take Wham.
Which Paul McCartney song?
Wonderful Christmas Time.
Oh, man. Versus Wham. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Wham as well.
Yeah.
Really?
Both good songs, but yeah, Wham is more...
You can dance to Wham.
Yeah.
You can't really dance to that Paul McCartney song. That's like a song you like eat cheese to or something.
Well, I didn't bring this up on a perennial Christmas viewing, and I am going to bring it up now because it ties into a song. But there's no way one of the best Christmas movies, hands down, is Daddy's Home 2. And there's no way you cannot love Band-Aid, Feed the World with that movie when you have...
Daddy's Home 2?
Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg...
John Lithgow and Mel Gibson.
John Lithgow, John Cena, Mel Gibson. It's so good. Again, everything about that movie is great. The first one was good. And my son was at that age where he's like, oh, that was kind of good. I was like, all right, I'll take you the second one. And I was laughing out loud. And the way they get back into the backstory of Mark Wahlberg wanting to sing that one line, it's just like everything. And then they get trapped in a movie theater at the end. And they're all watching that movie, and then the power... Oh, man, it's so good. But tying into, do they know it's Christmas time after all? I feel like that movie elevated that song. Like, I think
Adam agrees with you. Yeah, the sequel is so much better than the original, he says.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen part 2.
Oh, I can't believe you haven't seen it. This was like after Mel Gibson got some heat, and they're like, okay, let's get him in some... stuff to be like, and John Lithgow was...
John Lithgow is great in everything.
He is, hands down, so good, but the vulnerable way he played this overly sensitive dad to Will Ferrell, oh my God. It was just, everything about it was great. It was just so good. That, if we trade notes, I watched Lethal Weapon again, you watch Daddy's Home 2.
You're on, I'm going to watch it. What is it streaming on? I'm going to look it up.
I think it's on Netflix, actually.
Yeah, it might be on Netflix.
Damn it. That one I don't have. Please put a password in the chat.
All right, how about Stevie Wonder versus the Jackson 5?
Ooh.
Which songs?
Someday at Christmas versus Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
See, I don't even put that. If I'm thinking Jackson 5, I'm going I Saw Mommy Kissing
Oh, yeah,
Santa
that's
Claus.
probably, yeah. Okay, yeah.
I think I still give that to Stevie Wonder, though.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
I go Jackson 5.
You go Jackson 5 on that?
Yeah.
All right, let's go with the... what about... I'm going to go completely... This is going to be a mismatch. Eartha Kitt versus Michael Bublé.
Well, it's definitely not Michael Bublé singing Santa Baby. Which Michael Bublé?
Michael Bublé, White Christmas. Or Holly Jolly Christmas.
Which is funny because he's been known, like he's mentioned it a few times in interviews, like people will bring it up, like he is like, quote unquote, like an official king of Christmas now, and he's literally put out one Christmas album.
Really?
That's all he's done. If you want to talk
about... What makes him king of Christmas?
Just everyone associates him.
Because he sang Silent Night once?
Everyone associates him with Christmas. If there's anyone who deserves like king of Christmas for constantly putting out Christmas bangers, Harry Connick Jr.
That's true.
That dude's got like 47
Look,
Christmas
if
albums.
Mariah can't get it, nobody should get it.
Yeah.
All right? There's just no ruler for Christmas if Mariah can't have it.
Well, she's in big company. Because obviously, you know her main jam, but she had a couple of songs, right? To her, It was the whole album.
Yeah, she had that whole album. Which, again, to bring it back to me, they put out a Funko of that because they've been doing this whole series of Funko figures of recreating album covers. So they've done Notorious B.I.G., they've done all these album covers and made the plastic casing the album cover, and they put the Funko in front of it posed. And so they did Mariah in her little Santa outfit.
Oh, wow. All right.
Of course I bought 2.
You are a collector, so that doesn't surprise me.
I'll tell you a great Christmas one that hardly anyone will know because it's an instrumental. But like I absolutely, ever since I saw Halloween, I love Carol of the Bells. I love everything about that. But there is a heavy metal band called August Burns Red that did an instrumental metal version of it. And I can listen to that every single. It's so good. You get all this heavy like metal double kick bass, and just the whole thing is just a banger.
Man. Yeah, because I feel like the closest you get to kind of any kind of metal Christmas is the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, right? That's the closest you get. Yeah, those are bangers.
I've got some punk Christmas Carol albums, but not any metal. I don't think Christmas carols translate to metal that well. They do translate to punk well.
You're right. All right, I got another showdown for you. Oh, you know what? Michael Bublé, speaking of the SNL Christmas special, didn't they have him teaming up with a bunch of different...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was part of the Christmas special where it's a flat circle. JJ has Bing Crosby and David Bowie duel Little Drummer Boy. I love it. What about Frank Sinatra versus Run DMC?
What Frank Sinatra song? We know what Run DMC song.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
That was the one that was in Die Hard. I don't know.
Yeah. That's
I
tough,
mean,
right?
The Sinatra is more iconic, but if you ask me like which one I'm going to listen to more, I'm probably going to listen to Christmas in Hollis a lot more.
A little more.
I don't know. When Run realizes that the money he found was actually for him, I pop every time. When he finds out the dough was for him, I don't know. Frank Sinatra might just have to take second place.
I'm going to lose to those boys from Queens. All right, what about... We'll go with classics. Elvis versus the Eagles. Eagles sing, Please Come Home from Christmas. And obviously Elvis, I'll have a blue...
I will take Elvis just because fuck the Eagles.
Wait, like the football team?
No, the singers.
Wait, what did he do? Are they canceled? Let me go to amicanceledornot.com.
No, I just don't like the Eagles. I don't want to hear, but I don't like the Eagles. I'm not a proponent of the Eagles.
I didn't know you had heat with the Eagles.
I don't have heat with the Eagles. I just don't like the Eagles.
You're just getting hot at the Eagles, but no heat.
Yeah, but I do like 2 Eagles songs, like a whole lot. But, you know, actually, like, never mind. I have no problem with the Eagles.
It's a Christmas miracle.
All right, let me get one out of left field here. I know. I'm going to say it wrong. I'm going to pull a Travolta and get her name wrong. Idina Menzel.
Mm-hmm.
I said it right?
Yeah.
Versus Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Chipmunks is the Christmas song?
Yep. It's just a Chipmunk.
And Idina Menzel is what song?
Baby, It's Cold Outside.
Oh, well, that song's canceled, apparently.
Oh, was it canceled?
That song's canceled. You can't really do that song anymore.
I didn't even know they can cancel.
It's too date rapey. It's like Revenge of the Nerds.
Although, again, bringing it back to full circle, the SNL, they reversed it. And then he's like, he wanted her to leave, and she wouldn't leave. But it was consensual. It was unlike the original song, which may have been. I did not know that. What do you think, Beaver?
So I'll say this with a caveat: Idina Menzel wins over everybody.
Okay.
Anything, and I'll say that this is going to be blasphemy.
Is she the one from Wicked?
Wicked, yes.
And Elsa from Frozen.
And she was in the Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, the
She
Uncut
played
Gems.
his- yeah.
Yeah, she plays Wise. But she is more famous for because she was the original Maureen on Rent.
Oh, that's right.
Which is where I fell in love with her. I will say that if you put Mariah and Adina both singing that song, I don't know if I can pick, because that's probably the only one who could compare to Mariah in terms of like vocal power. Singing that song, that would be I would have a hard time with that, because Adina's like one of my ultimate women crushes, just because of the voice and because she's beautiful as well too.
Yeah.
But just voice alone is hands down better than just about everybody else.
That would be the ultimate battle. So if we had a Christmas song bracket and they were facing off at the end.
That's my championship, and I don't even know, like, it's one of those ones that's like, whoever wins, I'm okay with it, and whoever loses, I'm bummed.
Is that what...
Whoever wins, we lose.
What was that? I know that movie. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Anthony said, oh, yeah, did he call her Adele Dazeem?
Adele Dazeem or something like that. Asshole.
Oh, man. All right, that was fun. We started off with just like the go-to movies, but then you realize that, yeah, the music is there, whether you're listening to... Although I feel like Holly on XM isn't as relevant because pretty much everyone has their Spotify go-to list, right?
Let's take a poll, and then this poll will decipher how old you are. If you ever stayed up on Christmas Eve listening to the radio with your tape deck so you could record Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer when it played eventually, then you're too old to be on the internet.
I'm old enough to that I remember my mom who had to go to work, and she's like, Jeff, I need you to collect a bounty. And I'm like, all right, Mom, I'm in. Who is it? Give me a name. What do we got? She's like, it's not for a person. It's for a song. There's a new song coming out, and it's called Beat It, and I need you to record it because I need to watch the music video. And if you get it, it was $5. And I sat in front of the TV, MTV all day watching that, waiting for that, and I recorded it. So I have a version of that Grandma Got Run Over because it's probably around the same time period.
Wait, they weren't playing Beat It like 100 times a day?
They were, but she was at work.
So how long did you have to wait before Beat It came on?
I got it pretty quick. I don't remember waiting too long. And I don't know, this may or may not be the year that my dad got furious at me when he got the phone bill. And it's like, who called this 1-900 number 50 times? I was like, Dad, I had to vote for Ghostbusters to win Song of the Week. Who are you going to call? Them 50 times. You know how much that costs?
We had the same thing, but we used to have a Jukebox Channel. Did y'all have that up the East Coast?
Jukebox Channel?
Did y'all have Jukebox Channel?
Mm-mm.
Did we have Jukebox Channel in Austin here, Brian?
Depends on what year
Okay,
that
so
was.
Jukebox Channel, it was kind of like a public access station a little bit. It was on the local cable or whatever, but you'd call in. It was just a scrolling guide of songs, and you'd call in, and you'd pay the fee on your phone, put in the code, and it would play the music video you paid for.
Really? No,
You don't recall this Jukebox Channel? So you'd watch it. It was music videos. So you'd watch it. It was all the popular music videos. So people would call in and you'd see them plugging in their picks. So you'd be like, "Oh, this is coming up. This is coming up." But it was literally just the Jukebox Channel. And somebody would like get on and play Me So Horny like 3 times or something like that. Y'all didn't have this down here.
No.
It was a staple.
I never, because I grew up dirt poor, and so I didn't even have cable until I was a teenager.
Oh, okay,
so we were rocking the 3-channel format as a kid. So that's all I had.
My grandma was super poor, but she always had Showtime for some reason.
That was when we first got cable, because we lived out in the sticks, and so like they brought in cable, and they were like, "You're going to get 13 channels and Showtime."
Yeah.
And so it was like, all right, cool.
I remember, yeah. It was
I don't know. My grandma, she loved Showtime and she loved the Atlanta Braves. She had to have WGN.
WGN for the.
See, JJ remembers the Jukebox Channel.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea.
And they'd play like Vanilla Ice like 10 times in a row. You just see it come on, And there was like a spoof of Me So Horny called Me So Hungry.
Oh, that wasn't Weird Al either.
That wasn't weird. No, this was another spoof group. They did roaches and whatever.
Damn, I thought I came up with Me So Hungry. Damn it. May have accidentally stole it.
So here's a question though. So if we're gonna keep on the Christmas thing, so everyone's got like their list of movies and their list of songs, but this is the level I'll take it to. I actually have like a playlist on Vudu, which is where I buy most of my stuff, of just Christmas TV episodes. Like the Christmas episode of this show during the season, I'll build like a playlist of just those, just so I can watch Christmas ones. Because like Friends has got some great Christmas episodes.
See, the Office ones are fantastic.
The Office ones are great.
The Parks and Rec ones are fantastic. Yeah.
I put Friends. I feel like Friends is the Thanksgiving show. I feel like they got a banger Thanksgiving episode.
They do,
year.
But like, I mean,
but they probably, I'm assuming they probably did. Christmas
well, I just watched one the other day. My favorite one the other day is with the Holiday Armadillo.
Oh, yes.
Where he dresses up to explain Hanukkah.
The Holiday Armadillo.
The Holiday Armadillo is one of my favorites. But like one of my Big Bang Theory's got some really good Christmas episodes. But one of the best ones I've seen recently is the Ted Lasso Christmas special they did.
The Ted Lasso Christmas special is unbelievable.
And they tie in Love Actually.
Unbelievable.
And it's so good.
Yeah, that's unreal good. That is off the chain, off the hook good.
Yeah.
Man, and they did the opening crawl with stop motion too, didn't they?
And then they did a short. They did a short called, I want to say it's like the Christmas Mustache, but it's a quick little 8-minute stop motion of Ted Lasso, and it's a great little. I mean, I think it's only like it was like a short film they did for Christmas, and so they put it on the bonus section of Apple. But yeah, it's great.
Oh man! So I'm assuming then you're a fan of Festivus, then, right?
Oh yeah.
Seinfeld. I feel like that's in the zeitgeist. That's everywhere. You can get Festivus.
Well, I think if you have Hulu, folks, if you've signed up for Hulu for only like $11.99 a month, I think they will make you a playlist of Christmas episodes on there.
Oh,
I believe Peacock does it as well, Jeff, because I'm on your account.
Yeah, a lot of them are starting to do that when they have all their shows.
I was watching Superstore Christmas episodes, which is really good. I enjoy Superstore.
Yeah, Superstore is a good show, man. And I feel like, and we don't want to not give love. Obviously, we're fans of Elf, and we're fans of A Christmas.
I was going to say
Story.
we didn't even talk about Elf, which is like that's in my top 5. It's in my top 5 every year.
But I feel like they don't even need the plug. Like if we talk about it, like it's everyone knows. Although I am saving it, and I don't know if it's good, so no spoilers. We didn't see it, or maybe no one saw it. But on HBO Max, I felt like I needed to be a little bit closer to Christmas to watch the official Another Alternate Universe, A Christmas Story Christmas with them as adults.
Will they discuss Gotti Schwartz's detour into porn? will that be a shoot in the movie? Because he did do porn at some point.
That is unreal.
So here's the thing that I catch the most shit for, other than the fact that I really don't like the Beatles, because I'm not a Beatles fan. I just 100% do not like A Christmas Story.
Really?
I've watched it multiple times because I'm not going to talk crap if I haven't seen something. It just, for me, it doesn't do anything.
It just doesn't hit. So did you watch it growing up, or is this something later on?
I watched it as a kid. I think a couple of times because it was on. And then I've watched it as an adult, and I know tons of people who like it's their favorite of all time, and I get why, but it's just it does nothing for me.
I will take that hot take and double down on your hot take with another hot take.
Okay.
And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this on the internet, Jeff.
All right, here we go.
I'm going to publicly say this.
Batten down the hatches.
Elf does nothing for me.
No.
Elf does not. Elf. I find Elf so boring.
Well, Elf's first 65 to 70%. I feel like they didn't know how to stick the landing. I'll give you that. But the stuff in the beginning is great.
Okay, the Rankin Bass stuff is good, but once he leaves the North Pole, it completely loses me.
Really? Yeah. Oh.
I find it's kind of like I never felt Will Ferrell felt elfy enough. It's just Will Ferrell doing Will Ferrell. He's not really doing a Christmas gimmick. He's just himself. I think James Caan feels really awkward in that movie.
He's the weak link for me. Like I love Elf. It's literally a top 5 one, and I watch it all the time. I think that it does have a weak ending. Really, once you get into Central Park, that's when it kind of drops off for me. But the film before then has built up they've built so far high up that even dropping down still puts them higher than most for me.
Yeah.
But honestly, like with that, like I don't really even mind Will Ferrell being Will Ferrell because I think I think that kind of character plays into his strength. Which does. It's not like I don't want to say it's a one note performance. It's just finding the perfect type of character and the perfect kind of person to play that. Yeah. Because he is the same in a lot of his movies, unless he goes like full on dramatic. Yeah. But for me, it just works. But I get it. I know a lot of people who do not like Elf.
Look, Adam's hot take is Christmas rapping is a better rap song than Christmas in Hollis. Now, I mean, that's solid.
Oh, no, that's Bones McCoy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a solid take.
Yeah.
That's a solid take. Christmas rapping is a jam.
Yeah.
The Waitresses.
Yeah. No, I got no heat with that.
I don't know if I'll agree though. I don't know if I can fully agree because Christmas in Hollis has got a place in my heart.
Is there other Christmas rap songs? Are those the only two?
Those might be the only.
Well, Curtis Blow's got the Christmas song.
There's a couple people who
Curtis Blow's Christmas song.
There's an actual album. There's like a hip hop Christmas album. That they've put out. I don't know what it's called.
But that was like when hip hop was a novelty and it was like, let's make a rap album about this. I think Curtis Blow did that first Christmas. He did that first Christmas rapping that's got the sample that you hear in like the Beastie Boys song. Hold it now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. This is hot off the presses. I went right to the complex. I went to the source, and I got the best Christmas rap songs ever. I hadn't found it, so I found a list. We're going to listicle this right here. And, of course, number one, you called it right out of the gate. Curtis Blow, Christmas Rappin' is from 1979. Best hits top producer alive every year since 1979. Then you got the Cold Crew singing Rappin' Christmas in 1982.
Same song?
It might be the same song. The Treacherous Three singing Santa Rap in 1984. Sweet Tea, Let the Jingle Bells Rock, 1987. Run DMC, Christmas in Hollis, 1987. Here's one. Eazy-E, Buckwheat from the Little Wascals, Will 1X, and Ataban Clan singing Merry Mother Effin' Christmas from 1992. So you got C Murder and Master P, Christmas in the Ghetto. Snoop Dogg, Nate Dogg, Trey D, Badass, Santa Claus Goes Straight to the Ghetto is from 1996. Jim Jones, Stack Bundles, J.R. Ryder, Ballin' on Christmas was 2006. Ludacris singing Ludacrismas 2007.
Wasn't that an episode of 30 Rock? Ludacrismas was an episode of 30 Rock.
It was, you're right. And again, we're coming full circle. Time is a flat circle. DMX singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And that was from 2012. So yeah, we had to whip up that. Oh no, we had Sean Price. How Sean Price Stole Christmas is also 2012. Ying Yang Twins, Ho Ho Ho, Dirty Christmas.
Ying Yang Twins. It's the first list they've ever been on.
Yes, Fitty Wap and Monty, Merry Christmas. Man, there's a lot. Def Loaf, Kodak Black, All I Want for Christmas. Okay, there's some representation.
Dana Dane is coming to town, Bones McCoy says. Treacherous 3 did Santa Rap. Yeah, they did.
Oh, Tyler the Creator, Big Bag. All about the Grinch, which we also didn't bring up.
Treacherous 3, wasn't that on like number 3 or something on your list?
Yeah. So that's a pretty hefty list for Christmas rap.
How about, here's another addendum to that. It's a footnote, like an asterisk. Check out the Afro Man Christmas album.
Okay.
I think it was called Jingle Balls or something like that.
Jingle.
He's just doing classic Christmas carols.
All right. I feel like I need to come up with a hot take now. You guys are all spitting hot takes.
Where's your hot take?
I know you got. We have.
You're
hot
such a
takes
baby face all the time.
I know. Where's the hot takes? What's my hot take? I never saw It's a Wonderful Life.
Me neither. I never watched it. It's always on. I figured I'd catch it.
I kind of saw it. I don't remember much about it.
I saw the SNL sketches that made fun of it, so I feel like I've seen it.
What's funny is that's one of the ones that kind of humbled me a little bit because I used to see the clip of that in Christmas Vacation. And so I would see that, I'd hear that, and that little line that she says, just the way she said it always annoyed me. And so I used to talk so much crap about It's a Wonderful Life and make fun of that line and whatnot, having never seen it.
Was that the line every time you hear the bell, an angel gets its wing? I got it.
And so I used to talk so much crap, and then I was like, you know what? I got to watch this fucking movie so I can prove what I'm saying. I fucking love that movie, man. That movie is so good. Like that's another one I watch every single year. That's in my top 10. Absolutely is.
All right.
It's a Wonderful Life. Especially for being such an older movie, it still holds up. And it was a bomb when it came out.
Yeah, no,
but completely holds up still to this day.
Is that? I think that's required for a lot of Christmas classics, is to not do well on their first run.
In a movie that old, where your main character is contemplating suicide for Christmas.
Not Lethal Weapon, the other one.
And you get to see an old man slap around
That's
a
why
kid.
Lethal Weapon works so well. It spins off of a Christmas classic. The original Christmas classic is about suicide. We get it. Can I add one? Can I throw in that I think that is also should be revisited as a Christmas classic?
Let's do it.
It was, I kind of watch it. It comes on cable. Trapped in Paradise.
Oh, yes.
Nicolas Cage, John Lovitz, and Dana Carvey. It's kind of an odd mix. It's almost like an SNL movie that they threw Nicolas Cage in.
And it's so
That's
great.
right. I forgot.
They're all three of them are so good. But that's such a great movie.
Yeah, they go to this small town to rob the bank, right? Mm-hmm. And they pull a heist and they steal the money. And then, trying to get away, they get a flat tire. And then somebody from the town is like, "Oh, I'll fix your flat tire." And they can't do it. They say, "Well, why don't you come on over? We'll make you dinner." And they bring them home for Christmas. And now they're having to hang out with everybody from the town.
And it's the bank owner's son who does it and brings them home to the bank owners.
Stealing all their money. And these are like the nicest people in the world. And they have they have a crisis of consciousness. They have to decide if they should give the money back. It's good.
That.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, underrated.
I know we did the many ages, the Age of Cage. I don't remember where that one fell in.
I don't remember either.
I don't remember where that fell in.
And he's too. This because I remember this is like early '90s. I want to say like '93, '94.
Yeah.
And so he hasn't even done like full on cool yet. But he's playing the kind of cool older brother who's got it all together, and you can kind of start seeing the cool Cage starting to come out that we're going to see like in Face Off and Con Air and stuff like that.
This is right before leaving Las Vegas and The Rock and all that.
Yeah.
So he was definitely on an upswing. But to me, this is what I call a dollar theater classic.
Mm-hmm.
It's one that you didn't catch on the
Dude,
first
that
run.
is a playlist. What you just came
Dollar
up with.
Theater
Dollar
Classics.
Theater Classics. That's what we should call
it's a TBS special.
Do they still have dollar theaters? I know for a while they were $2.
Yeah, the $1 theater that's up in The Rock is closed down.
Yeah, it closed down.
I keep going by it and I'm like, I wonder if we can buy that.
Dollar theaters were a staple if out there in TV land. We don't have these anymore, but you'd go to the second run theaters. They'd show all the movies that were out a few weeks ago for $1. This was before streaming. So this was your second alternative. But you could go to the dollar theater and watch the movies you liked over and over, right? You'd see them multiple times.
Because it was 2 months later. And that's honestly streaming is kind of what killed them. Is because
streaming killed the dollar theaters. Yeah. Bring it back. Let's buy that dollar theater.
And especially when you grow up super poor like I did, the dollar theater was really the only theater you could go to.
Dollar theater was my jam. It was, like I said, when I was a kid, my parents would go do whatever their Saturday shit, shopping and do whatever. They just dropped me off at the dollar theater with $10 and be like, "Here, just watch some movies." And a lot of them were. We'll be back at 6 p.m.
A lot of them were next to malls too, so they could literally just drop you and go.
Exactly. That was definitely a strategy, and you can tell it was still on film, and the film was starting to degrade a little bit.
And they'd have old trailers, and you could tell, the prints were all chopped
right,
up.
Yeah, the trailers
and
they're coming soon. It's we own that VHS.
Yeah,
I'm so confused.
That's already out. I have that at home. But it was a dollar theater classic. It's one. It didn't do well in theaters, but it hit the dollar theater fast. But I remember seeing it at the dollar theater and thinking it was great, and I still think it's great.
Yeah, I think Beetlejuice was my dollar theater. I saw it once in the regular run, and then went 4 times in the dollar theater once it made to that.
We need dollar theaters back.
Yeah.
Dollar theaters will save cinema.
Dollar theaters.
Let's get Quentin Tarantino on this thing. Surely he understands, right?
Oh no, he definitely.
They had dollar theaters in L.A., didn't they?
Yeah, they definitely did.
Well, what's funny is this movie specifically, I remember because growing up, all the movies that I had, because I didn't get to go to the theaters that often. That was going to a theater was kind of a treat. So all the films I had were VHS movies of either a blank 6-hour tape that my uncle had recorded 3 movies off of HBO.
Right.
So I got all these random collections, I'd have Star Wars Episode 4, then I'd have K9, and then I'd have The Gods Must Be Crazy, all on the same VHS tape. So I had all of those.
Did
but
you
then,
say The Gods Must Be Crazy?
Yeah.
Oh, so
that
good.
movie's great.
So
but
good.
for
Part 2 is really good too.
For an 11-year-old watching The Gods Must Be Crazy, wondering what the fuck's going on. But then all of my other VHSs were video store rentals that when they had run, their expiration, they would sell them for like $1. So my grandfather would buy them and my uncle would buy them, and I would just either get them from them or just borrow them from them. And that's where I saw a lot of these movies because, again, if you don't get to go to the theater a lot, the video store was kind of where you went for that kind of stuff. And getting those, like, I remember watching this one. I think I discovered it over a summer staying with my grandparents. I ended up watching this movie specifically for like 3 days. I watched it like a couple times a day. That's how much I loved it.
Yeah, and I think back then, I mean, the repeat viewing is hard. Like, now it has to be a forced discipline. But back before the internet, when you didn't have other things to distract you, these movies are so quotable because we watched them over, and I mean, we'd like drilled it into our head. There was nothing else to do. That was the taste of pop culture that you got. There was no way to do. We're now trying to keep up with content. You're lucky if you can see a movie once, much less like multiple times.
Remember being at the video store and like having nothing to rent?
Yeah, because you've seen it all.
Because you've seen everything.
Yeah. And now you'll scroll through Netflix and look at all the art, and it'll take you forever to pick one.
Yeah.
And it's a different browsing experience. Yeah, 13 Ghosts actually just got pulled off one of the apps I was watching on. Anthony said that was one of his dollar theater experiences. All right, I got a movie. We're sticking to the Christmas theme. I don't think either one of you saw it. You definitely didn't see it because you're the one that recommended it. I teased it before our Christmas break, and we're going to talk about the Adult Swim Yule log. And I'm going to try not to because I do not want to ruin the experience, because the pitch is don't listen to anything about it. Don't read anything about it. Just go watch it. And it starts off exactly what you expect. It's just the Yule log, 10 hours of a log that you'd go to on YouTube. I'm just like, I just want to pull up a fireplace. But then, did you watch Too Many Cooks?
Yeah.
Of course.
There you go. And man, like, so as soon as you wrap your head around one thing, again, I'm going to try to do this as spoiler free as possible because I really don't want to ruin it. But I'm going to quote the late great Rowdy Roddy Piper when it comes to Adult Swim Yule log, aka fireplace. Just when you think you have the answers, I change the question. That's it. That's all I'm telling you on Adult Swim Yule log. I had to watch it on demand, and I felt so dirty because, Mari, when you told me about it, I was like, I have to watch this. I have to watch it right now. YouTube TV's like, yeah, you can watch it if you want 6 ads. And I'm like, damn it, I pay you. I pay you for this. But it's not on your cloud DVR. Sorry, YouTube. Don't. I know you guys are I'm talking about your brother like this, but I had to watch 6 commercials through there. So, but it was, they did time the breaks to be part of the story. At least it wasn't like an abrupt smack you in the face with a commercial.
Not like Pluto TV where it just cuts in the middle of a sentence.
Yeah, exactly. So just Google it, search it, Yule log. And it's nothing, it's Adult Swim.
What's going on here?
Wacky.
This has nothing to do with a Yule log.
Exactly, dude. Each one of those
Is it
things,
as good as that one that you're in? The one you're in?
Oh, no, I have a soft spot for just obvious because the landlords versus wrestlers. I mean, I got to dance on Adult Swim, one of the claim to fames. No. But that was way shorter. This is 90 minutes. So they basically had to find a way to fill 90 minutes of this Yule log. But I will tell you, it's not just about one thing, except the Yule log is interweaving in the entire story. So the funny thing is, I'm trying to keep it as spoiler free just to not ruin it for you, but I couldn't spoil this for you if you want to because I'm still.
I would imagine if it's like Too Many Cooks.
I'm still trying to wrap my brain around what the hell just happened and find out like what edibles these guys are consuming before they make this. But it's an event.
I need some of that before Avatar.
Yeah, it is an event for sure. I'm not sure. Other than it's a Yule log, which is around Christmas, there's no Christmas theme other than the fireplace. But man, I can't say no more. But I'd love to hear you guys report back and watch
I
it.
didn't know you were going to watch it so fast. I would have watched it before the show. I tried to watch Christmas Bloody Christmas, and I got halfway through it. It's
and Shudder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finally did get to watch Anna and the Apocalypse. Which
What'd
is
you
on
think?
Shudder. Yeah, I liked it. It was good. I think I think that's going to require more than This was my first viewing of it, so Christmas movies you have to watch over and over again. So it was good for the first one, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll give this a spin. Ask me again after viewing number 10 of like, oh yeah, I'm going to watch this every year. But then again, we're staying spoiler free for you, Geek Commander, but like you're going to love at first sight for Violent Night.
I can already tell. I mean, it's
love at first sight.
It's David Harbour, and I love even the Hellboy remake. I mean, I know a lot of people.
I liked it. I liked it too.
I feel like I would like it. I haven't watched it. I like the director. I like David Harbour, but I never watched it.
I think people just had heat because they wanted Guillermo del Toro back. But I mean, I thought he gave his blessing on this. I don't know, but I didn't have any heat with it. He's a little bit scarred from it, so he said he's nervous about established IPs now. But I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I've loved him. Like he was in one of my favorite shows of all time, which people hate. But I loved The Newsroom, and he's great in The Newsroom.
Yeah,
he's fantastic in the newsroom.
I don't recall him being in The Newsroom, but yeah.
And is this we'd be remiss again? This whole show is coming full circle. We'd be remiss if we would not mention that tis the season from Benny Blanco from the Bronx. We got John Leguizamo in the menu at Thanksgiving, and then Violent Night at Christmas time. And the menu produced by Will Ferrell. I mean, there's our full circle there. But John Leguizamo, he was great in both because he played two completely different characters in both, and you just forget how good he is. I need to go back and rewatch him and Bob Hoskin in Mario Brothers before we watch the Chris Pratt one. But John Leguizamo, he was Tu Wong Fu. He was stealing the show. I mean, it was great to see him back in our lives.
Have you ever seen the HBO recordings of his one-man shows?
I remember those. Yeah, I remember those.
Freak is
Spawn. He was excellent in Spawn.
He was the clown in Spawn.
Probably the best part of Spawn.
Yeah.
But his HBO special Freak is one of the funniest, and it's not even a stand-up because it's more of a one-man show, but it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I laugh every time I watch that.
Yeah, I just remember him having so much fire when he was on that stage. Like he was just like hot-blooded, man. So it was cool to see him. Now we're going to see him every year.
Yeah.
Because he is part of Violent Night. And again, yeah.
I'll tell you what, I don't want to oversell Violent Night to you, B-Rose, because I think that it's like, I want you to love it. And sometimes people will tell you how great a movie is and then you'll be a little underwhelmed. I'll give you the lows of it. It's probably maybe 15 minutes too long, Violent Night. That would be my critique of it. I think that actually that's it. That's the only critique I have.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
Well, that's one of the things too. Like, because everyone gives me crap because, like, honestly, like I just love movies to begin with.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love bad movies. I love good movies. It takes a lot for me to not like a movie. And like even talking earlier about A Christmas Story, I don't hate A Christmas Story. It does nothing for me.
Right.
But like even bad movies, I like. I'm not even going to talk about the guilty pleasure movies that I love, but like you have to really screw up to get me to actually like hate a movie, and it very rarely happens. Luckily, I got to write a review when I was writing movie reviews. I got to write one for a movie that I fucking hated.
You did,
and it was the Fantastic Four remake that they just did with Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan. Fucking hated that movie with a passion. But otherwise, like
they shot most of it in somebody's garage.
Yeah,
you watch the ending sequence is just in an empty building.
It's garbage. But like, yeah, even
casting, but yeah,
even great movie, or even just movies I still love because it's a movie and I can watch it. But yeah, so I very rarely do I ever come away from a movie like, oh, I hated that. There's movies I don't think are great, but I can still appreciate them. But no, like honestly, with David Harbour in it alone, that was all I saw was the poster in his face and the Santa, and I was just like, okay, I'm 100% in.
Yeah, you didn't even need a
even
trailer.
If it sucks.
You don't know anything about it, right? Have you stayed spoiler free?
I've stayed fairly spoiler free. I know the basis, like the little 2-sentence synopsis of what the movie's about.
There's a couple things that got spoiled for me because I'm pretty liberal with spoilers. I'll let them enter my life. I'll watch parts of reviews. Couple things I wish had to been spoiled for me that you're gonna love. I won't even say anything about them, but
Nice.
there's some good stuff.
Yeah, there's not like any big ones, but I do agree with you. They could have probably snipped some stuff for sure.
And that's every movie nowadays. Every movie now is too long. Let's get back down to movies of 90 minutes.
Yeah.
90 minutes.
We got dollar movies, dollar beers, 90-minute movies.
Oh
or
my
bust.
gosh, that sounds like a great theater. We'll snip it down. We'll cut out the credits.
Can you imagine we just do self-edits?
Yeah.
We'll edit it for you. Don't worry. We'll get that.
Yeah, now that because my wife and I, we just finished watching Wednesday, and now this is the next thing that I want to watch, is I'm going to watch Violent Night, because that's
All right.
my...
Yeah,
I've
that'll
been
be
waiting
our.
for that one.
Let's do that as our go home spot. And I know, Mario, you haven't watched Wednesday yet, but Wednesday, ironically, being a Tim Burton, he was the showrunner, right?
Well, yeah, he wasn't quite the show. He was the... It's kind of weird how they're saying it, because there's some are saying that he's the showrunner, and yet the show was created by 2 different people.
Right.
He's the director of the first 4 episodes.
He was,
I think
right?
I think he was more of like an exec producer, like
EP.
creative visioner kind of thing like that. But I don't know if he was actually, because the last 4, I don't know how involved he was with like the last 4.
No, you're right. He wasn't. I guess they did still try to keep that energy there. But I was going to say, like, Tim Burton's, The Nightmare Before Christmas. We've talked about that. We got a video on it. Is it a Christmas movie or is
We've
it a
had
Halloween
this discussion
movie?
before. He did not direct that movie.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
It's the Tim Burton's Nightmare
Presents.
Buddy. Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe now he did it again. He did the same thing with Wednesday, right? His stamp is on it, but he didn't. He only directed the first 4.
He directed the first 4, and from what I've read, like he did have a large hand in the visuals for the movie. Obviously, I mean, it looks like a Tim Burton show.
Yeah.
And he had a strong hand in developing the story. I just don't know if he was the one on set every day, kind of like running the show or anything like that.
And he's the one that booked Jenna Ortega. He booked her because there's a story of her doing the audition when she was still bloody from X, and he was just laughing that she had the blood on his face. But I was going to say, this could have fell on Halloween, and it also could have kind of fell on Christmas, right? I guess if you're talking about the vibe it creates. But I was surprised they released it in November, but then is Addams Family considered a Thanksgiving movie because of the Christina Ricci scenes where it fell? I was just curious on the booking of it, of why they dropped it. They didn't drop it at Halloween, but now that's going to turn out to be bonkers genius, because Netflix is going to finish the rest of the year with Wednesday and Glass Onion viewing, so that they're going to break the internet.
I think they knew what they were doing. I think with the Thanksgiving break, and then you're kind of in that. I think that was the perfect time to kind of push this out.
I showed Mario earlier, because he said he hasn't seen Wednesday, but obviously your timeline, if you're on any kind of social media, your timeline is filled up with Jenna Ortega dancing. But I went back and I dug out the original Wednesday Addams from the series and her tap dance gif that was like known as the scene with Lurch dancing and everything about it. But did you have any issues? I thought the booking of the characters were great, very respectful, actually probably more true to the original comic that the series was even based on. I think even more true into that, like leaning into their Latin heritage, which the series, it was a black and white series at a different time, so it was like no one really thought about it, no one really cared. And then they're like, I don't know, what nationality are they? I don't know, they're creepy and they're kooky. Where's that? What country is that? But I felt like they leaned right back into it. But I loved the casting in this as well.
Yeah, I mean, the show overall, I fucking love the show so much.
Oh yeah.
Way more than I thought I would. I was expecting it to be good. I love the original Addams Family movies, and I'm a mark for Tim Burton. I mean, there's movies I don't like of his, but for the most part, I like his style.
Yeah, it's great style.
So I was already kind of on board with it. Did not expect to love it as much as I did, and the big part of that, I mean, the casting is really good. Jenna Ortega is just flat out amazing to watch.
Yeah.
She
You
perfectly
can't take your eyes
embodies
off her
that.
in this.
If I had to say a single weak link of the show at all, it would come down to 2 castings that I don't even hate. They just didn't thrill me. And I know that a ton of people love him. I think visually he fit perfectly, but after watching the show, I'm still not 100% sold on Guzman as Gomez.
All right.
Mainly just because
I haven't even seen the show and I'm not sold on that.
I
don't even know how that could even possibly work.
I think that when he's in a movie and he's doing a character that's written kind of for him, it's kind of like Tracy Morgan. He can just sell it and it's great.
Yeah.
But this is an existing thing, and I feel like when he's doing something like that, he gets very just kind of cheesy in one note, and I kind of felt like that a little bit. But the one thing I was kind of hoping would be cool and wasn't, I didn't really care for. I was not sold on Fred Armisen as Uncle
Really?
Fester.
Okay.
I felt like every time I was watching it, I was like, that's just Fred Armisen.
Yeah.
There was nothing that was unique or anything. It just felt like I was watching Fred Armisen in a black outfit.
Okay.
And so that really kind of threw me out because I love the character of Uncle Fester, especially when you watch Christopher Lloyd. I know you can't really compare the two, but just the character of Uncle Fester, even from the TV show, I loved. And so I really just, I just for some reason, Fred Armisen was kind of just starting to. I was really glad that he was just like, boop, gone.
Yeah,
I liked that.
Yeah, all the original were kind of just pop-ins on episodes. They weren't full players. Yeah, Mario, I think you're going to appreciate this, Brian. Not even, it could have been any actor, but the way they booked Uncle Fester, like he was like, did you get the feeling that he was like a legit criminal though, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, he's 100% legit criminal.
Yeah, he's a legit criminal. It wasn't just like, in the original show that it was just like, he's kind of weird. Oh, look at that, he's sleeping on a bed of nails. But like, this guy might be robbing banks and somehow grave digging and all the dark stuff
like
that they
threatening to kill people. Like, he's a criminal.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think they leaned into that really well. Another thing, and I can see why you did appreciate, and I didn't really get into that, is you got the vibe. You got a little bit of the Harry Potter vibe, which I did not expect, as far as like you're going to the school, and the school was broken up into the fangs, the furs, right? They had the cliques of the houses that basically the sirens that you were going to become a part of. And I was a mark for that, because now you're talking about Harry Potter, you're talking about X-Men, you're getting that vibe of just like the weird people that are exceptional but not treated as exceptional, and then the way they break them out. I thought that was really good.
I was really worried. Watching the first episode, I was really digging it. The visual style of the show is fantastic. But once you get into the school and with the other kids, there was basically a fork in the road. I was like, this can either be really cool, like the first season of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, or this could be the exact opposite, like the first season of Riverdale. And I even told my wife, I was like, man, I hope they don't Riverdale this, because that's not what I want to happen. And thank God they didn't, because the show is just so fun. And the one thing I think I liked more than anything, I'm usually, every once in a while I'll get surprised by something or whatnot, but I'm usually able to kind of see a lot of stuff coming. The twist that they did and the way they did it completely, because I knew they were going to twist something. Yeah. And I was like, I know this is the twist. And then when they basically reversed it, I was just like, oh, I have no idea. And so I loved the way they did the show. It's literally one of the first times in probably a year or two that I've like finished a show and I'm like, I kind of want to watch the whole thing again right now.
It plays right through.
I wanted to go right back into it.
It's a fast binge. Like once you're in, it is one of those. It's hard to stop for sure.
Yeah,
and that has a lot to do with her. I mean, the most heat you got on her for the performance was the way her bangs were, and I'm like, what? Yeah. It's like, no, she's older now. She's older. To me, she's clearly older than she was I feel like it's going in chronological order, right? The series is when she was, elementary school, and then the Addams Family, the movies with Christina Ricci, that's when she was in the middle school. Now she's like high school going into college. I felt like it was okay for that age progression like that.
Yeah, I think she's right around the same age that Ricci was in Family Values.
She was, right? Yeah.
Because in this one, she's turning 16.
Oh, okay.
So I think she's kind of right in that kind of same...
I thought it was great. It's like, I didn't mind her performance and her portrayal. She did feel a little bit...
There wasn't a single thing she did wrong.
No, I feel like she nailed every note. She's, again, making this weird, dark death.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Well,
Cool.
I was talking to my wife about it too, because the way because I was pitching it to someone at my work, and I kind of said it's like if you took Christina Ricci as Wednesday Addams and you mixed her with Aubrey Plaza as April Ludgate in Parks and Rec.
Oh, yeah.
Because the way she's playing Wednesday is more real than Ricci's Wednesday, but it's more morbid than April from Parks and Rec. So it's a
Right.
nice kind of blend where
that's
it's
a good way to
morbid,
book it.
but it's very realistic, and it's not like in watching Ricci. It's kind of fun because she's just, you can kind of say that she's saying all these morbid things, but it doesn't really feel like real. Whereas with Jenna Ortega, like the way she sells it, like it's like she really is into this kind of shit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I felt the same that when I was saying, oh Fester's like really a criminal. Like
Mm-hmm.
like everything they talk about, they might really be doing, and the way they sell it.
And what's sad too is when it comes to the casting, like, because I was talking to my wife about how, like, who I would have cast. It's sad, but the perfect casting that I think should have been Gomez was Gomez in the animated film, was Oscar Isaac. I think he would have been a fantastic Gomez, especially with Catherine Zeta-Jones. I get that he doesn't look the way they were wanting to go with it, the more traditional kind of style.
But they could have fixed that.
But in terms of like the tone of the character and the kind of feel, I think the vibe that he could give off is perfect for that.
Wow.
Which is why I think they cast him in the animated one they did.
Yeah.
And so like I would have loved, I know that's probably why, because he booked that and couldn't do this. But I thought he would have been a fantastic mix of kind of the raw sexual chemistry that Raul Julia had.
Yeah.
But making it a little more realistic and kind of that kind of Netflix kind of style they wanted to go with. So I was really, he's kind of would have been my dream casting. For Fester, though, I have no clue. I mean, maybe Fred Armisen is who they just perfectly embodied it, but I was like, I can't even think of who I would cast as Fester.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I would have never guessed Christopher Lloyd as Fester either, and he did pull it off. But you're right. I mean, he was definitely a little bit more. He was Fred Armisen, but he comes off darker.
Yeah, oh, he's definitely the way they write him is a lot darker.
Yeah, he's definitely darker, so he can do that. Obviously, it's already greenlit for season 2.
Oh yeah,
and they're just gonna be printing money after that. Mari, I don't know if you're gonna be watching that before the break and before the end of the month. If you'll be able to blaze through, we're still putting out. We're going to be doing a telethon to get you a Netflix password.
That'll be fine.
That'll be great. We'll do that.
Let's crowdsource that. GoFundMe for $20 a month.
It's so hard. They make it so hard to password share.
Yeah.
Like I shared the password, and then people are getting kicked out all the time now.
Or you could do it like a lot of the people do, and I'm not advocating this at all, but I mean, you just use an email, get a free trial, watch the show you want to watch.
They don't do free trials anymore.
I thought they still did them.
No, Netflix has ended their whole entire free trial program.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, we're Netflix. You heard of us.
Yeah, you know who we are.
JJ's gonna up the Patreon donation. Get you in there. But yeah, did you see X, the Ty West movie?
I haven't seen X or
Scream.
No, the other one, the other one that goes with X.
Pearl.
Pearl. Yeah, I haven't seen Pearl or X yet. No.
Well, I was just thinking because Jenna Ortega was in X.
Yeah. That was one of the things she just posted on Instagram the other day. She was like showing off some old behind the scenes stuff, and she had like the underwear that she wears and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was really.
No, I've heard she's great in that too. But
and she was great in Scream. We talked about her earlier in the new.
See, I haven't watched.
In the new Scream, so it's just amazing now. Her bookings are going to go through her.
Oh yeah, this is going to be her for sure breakout.
And was it you, Mario? Is she going to be the Gen Z screen queen? Is that, or is she gonna break through and just become a star all around? Like
I don't know. I'm not sure, but I mean, like I said, my timeline has erupted with Jenna Ortega, so she's got a rocket on her. She's going to the moon.
To the moon. Well, I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis went full circle, right? So I'd like to see. We can see Jenna Ortega pull it off in a rom-com, right?
Oh yeah.
But you really nailed it too with that Aubrey Plaza feel, because although that's a shoot for her, right? I've never seen her not kind of be creepy in any interview. She's always creepy, right?
Yeah, well, that's kind of like
Aubrey
that's
Plaza,
her
gimmick.
That's part. And it's kind of like her just go-to is she's kind of the creepy absurdist.
Yeah.
Kind of that's just her. her style, basically.
I don't know. I was probably watching some Wednesday Addams shorts, and then I saw a short for Aubrey Plaza trolling Elizabeth Olsen by showing up at a red carpet wearing the exact same dress and then pretending that she did it by accident, but trying to make her feel as uncomfortable as possible.
Well, did you see the same thing happen with Johnny Knoxville when they went on Family Feud? He wore the same exact suit that Steve Harvey was wearing out, and Steve Harvey had no clue and just walks out and like stares at him for like 30 seconds and can't stop laughing. And he goes, "Yeah, I'm wearing it."
That's what you got to do. And I don't know if that's the best way is to just do a no-sell. Elizabeth Olsen was selling it like crazy, but, old school 70s wrestlers like that last Tales from the Territory when they took that roadkill and threw it in the guy's bag. And his gear smelled like roadkill, and he not only did he not sell it, he wore his gear and he put it on, and he made everyone in the locker room smell it. Then he went in the crowd, and everyone in the crowd smelled it, and he was throwing it, and he just no-sold it the entire time. Just not going to get him. So, all right, fellas, we're almost at that 3-hour mark. So I think that's a show. That was good. We got some snacks, we got some songs, we got some movies, TV, audio. We left out some books. You want to finish with a couple? Well, no, I guess we covered Harry Potter books. We have Christmas books. I don't know. There's none that I can think off the top of my head.
I have no books in the queue.
I have.
Nobody loves to read on Christmas, I'm afraid.
That should be the name of a book. Mario's just booking like your one-man marketing department tonight.
I mean, technically, if we're gonna talk books, I mean, we talked Harry Potter, but we also talked Christmas Carol, which is
right.
It's a book.
That's what the book is. What the book is based on. So, all right. So yeah, don't forget to join us next week for our. Can we at least give him the title? You want to give him the title?
No.
No. All right. Just tune in.
It's gonna be our Christmas show.
Yeah, it's gonna be our Christmas show, but you're gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be something that we've never talked about before. That's the only spoiler. So enjoy the rest of the week, and we'll see you next week.